That's fun. It is what it is. It's a good thing I don't do this as a show. So let me just make sure it's actually recording. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo-doo-doo. All right, looks good there. Looks good there, and I'm sure it's gonna be fine on the YouTubes. Okay, so back another week of D&D, and we got some things to go over, some additional Fallout to cover here. But we have a full house today. We have Rick, who plays Boggle, is back. He has survived the atrocities that his work has been throwing at him.
Indeed.
Who?
Barely.
Wow.
That's cool. You know what? Never speak to me again. Thank you. Mordecai.
Never speak to me or my children ever again.
So, anyway, yeah, if you're watching this or listening to this, this is our weekend Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game in our little homebrew world. And this is our little recordings that we do for archival purposes. So, if you're in here live watching us, we do talk back. We enjoy the conversations. Otherwise, hope you get inspired by this if you're watching this or just trying to catch up on some things that have been gone over. So, speaking of going over things that have happened, let's go to that recap. That, oh dear God, recap. So, last we left off, having defeated the Undead Titan and seeing the arrival of a Nemesis soldier attack the dragon that Sorrow, the examiner, was riding, who assisted you in the battle. As the dragon was wounded, both it, Sorrow, and then the Nemesis soldier fell into one of the districts of Reldon. The attack on Reldon, the giants, still going on, though waning a bit. A lot from your efforts as well as from the dragons that were assisting in the conflict. Two distinct things happened at this time. First was that Willow went off searching for Sorrow, the Examiner, as well as the Nemesis Enforcer, who he was doing battle with. Along the way, Willow, she did not find Sorrow's body, but she did find the bodies of the Nemesis, who seemed quite okay, and they appeared to have just recently slaughtered some city guard and giants alike. It was at this time that she thought it was best to confront them, but in the process, she was picked up and her memories were literally ripped from her. Particularly the memories that were ripped seemed to focus on a particular list of names that the Iron Legion had of possible candidates for the Exalted. The Exalted are those who the Iron Legion believed to have divine blood. The memories revealed the location of a lone survivor of a small settlement called Ebon Meadows, a child whom you saved from there, a child whose name appeared on the list. Willow's memory also revealed the face and guise of another on the list, one calling themselves Caleb Coldwind. This is the same one that Willow remembered the Nemesis were searching for as they destroyed a mage's college. Willow tried to ask questions, but was given a memory stone as the only answer. The dragons began to attack the Nemesis, and in retaliation, they unleash something akin to the magic that the Mad God used to slay the Dragon Emperor during the end of the First Nemesis War. During this time, Mordecai went off to get some well needed aid. During his trek, he encountered a strange woman in white with a veiled face carrying Sorrow's lifeless body. She claimed that Sorrow was hers and that the Nemesis tried to claim his soul, something that they could not possess as it was already taken from him. During the conversation, she hinted that Mordecai was asking the wrong questions, and hinted that a powerful necromancer from his past was responsible for creating the undead titan that attacked Reldon, but that the necromancer had to have had some form of help to achieve such an endeavor. Mordecai left and found the warehouse that he was looking for and gathered much needed supplies, but when he left, he found Willow buried in the ashes of the devastation caused by the Nemesis' destructive magic.
Stepped on. He stepped on Willow.
I mean, he may have played Twister on her face, rubbing his boots, grinding them into her flesh as she tried to open her mouth to scream, like she got the heel of his boot in there that he stepped on some dog do before, and just kind of like wiped his feet on her and didn't even realize she was there. And
Why?
I mean, if we're going to go that route, we might as well just go balls to the wall, baby.
Well, I mean, he did step on her. It wasn't on purpose, but it did happen.
That's okay. She's it wasn't until later in that session where she felt a lot lower than that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Meanwhile, Emery, who was leaving the scene of the Titan attack, was attacked by a fellow assassin. She learned that she was being framed for murdering fellow assassins of her organization, as well as being accused of crimes against a founding assassin. She was now exiled and has a rather large bounty on her head, which
I blame the robot and Barth.
which assassins from all over Tour will gladly try to collect on her blood hunt. Once you all regrouped, you paid your staff to ensure that your tavern, the Dragon's Flower, would be running in good hands while you were gone. And while discussing the quickest ways to get back to Aurora, Mordecai, once again, took upon himself to gather some other needed supplies from his warehouse and used a helm of teleportation to quickly take you all back to the city of Aurora. Mordecai learned that the girl that you have left in safe keepings with the church had been taken out of the city due to recent dangers around Aurora. Willow learned that the Stardew Merchant Company had gained significant leverage in the Concordant, a group of merchant houses that have great political power across Tor and other parts of Kelowna. And that the Stardew Merchant Company had also brought in their own form of private military, a mercenary group called the Chimera Mercenaries, to help protect Aurora from the increased dangers outside the city. Sadly, Willow also learned that her family had been victims of accidents or otherwise dying off, leaving her and her sister who runs the Stardew Merchant Company currently. Willow accessed the Memory Stone, which had a very disturbing tale of something that was once human that had betrayed and tried to attack the Mad God, but lost horribly and suffered greatly for its hubris. After, you all went to the Fearless Lander's office, located in the upper rings of the Nymph's Rest. It was there that you began the process of reporting your findings from your travels, which took the better part of a week. And we're going to go over the rest of the occurrences during that week in today's session. So, one thing that we need to figure out is you'll have at least 1 week of downtime. You can have more if you'd like, but you're going to have at least 1 week, and this is part of just things for your characters, and I don't want to spoil anything as we go over today, but there's other things that are going to be happening. So, how long would you all like to stay in Aurora?
12 years.
Okay. Well, I don't know how well those 12 years go, but I know you can definitely stay there for several months, and then something's going to happen kind of important.
I mean, it's 624 weeks of downtime, so let's get rolling.
And it's all R&R, right?
No, it's gonna be all crime sprees.
I'm going to outcrime the Chimera in 1 week.
I mean, they're not criminals.
I mean,
they're
they're not criminals.
mercenaries.
So, it's
I-
not hard.
Yeah, listen, all right, Barth, get the C4.
What's C4?
I think he wants
I think-
a pack of
And
4
besides,
carrots.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to trust me with C4. Remember what happened last time I had C4 around you?
I hate Siege. I hate Siege so much.
Get the claymore.
Every time I've asked this man to throw something explosive at the enemy, I die.
Reminds
Don't
me of
worry.
days
They'll
of
play
Raven Shield.
Battlefield without me.
So, seriously though, how long will you all like to stay in Aurora for your downtime?
Do we want to spend a second week? 'Cause I think we're all in agreement that anything
There's shit
above
that
2
needs to
is
be
over.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably. Definitely probably find the girl and make sure she's not horribly murdered by demons.
We have an idea of where she is. She's supposedly in a protected area, but I would like to go make sure. I was thinking of doing research on the Mad God during this week of downtime.
Okay.
The Mad God or the God King?
The God King, the King of God King thing.
Yeah, the Mad God and the entity that claimed that a supposed God King was arriving, all completely different things.
I know. They both have God in their names.
Willow declares herself the super God King, so she's now in charge.
He's been upstaged.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the God King is what I'd like to do research on.
Okay, but overall, 1 week of downtime?
I think 1 week of downtime.
Yeah, 1 week of downtime.
Yeah, unless there's something that pops up that requires a second week.
Okay, so, all right, let's before we go into that, because this may affect some people's downtime activities, and this is why I needed to link some things here. So first off, as you're giving your accounts to the Furious Landers, is there anything from our previous sessions that you would have left out of said reports?
Probably the infiltrating of the manor and slaughtering a lot of the guards. Probably that's one thing we should probably leave out.
That would. Well, Mordecai wasn't there for that, so he wouldn't tell it.
So a big
Mordecai would
thing,
keep out the Abigail.
yeah, one thing that Imri will make sure everyone keeps out is any tell of me being an assassin.
You're an assassin?
I'm going to berate you in your sleep.
You know I don't sleep, right?
That's what the chloroform is for.
You're a little girl and you shoot things with a crossbow. That's all they need to know.
What's interesting is she, well, not only that, but she's also green too.
Yeah.
Wait, you're a goblin?
No.
You're a goblin.
I made out with an
We
unseelie
went to
archfey.
we went to the Feywild. People did dumb things in the Feywild.
Very dumb things.
Hey,
Yeah,
at least
let's leave
I'm
out
not
the part where I was working for the Mad God. Let's put that part on the down.
Okay. What about the part where, I mean, for example, Willow. I mean, you were Airy at one point, and then you became Willow, this dryad with shark teeth that gets violently sick when she eats things, not to mention a certain other side effect if she gives people a high five or a hug. I mean, what exactly do you tell them? Because are you pretending to be the dryad, this persona, or are you actually going like, well, I was Airy, here's my pin, and what how does your story go? I just need to know like what you leave out or which way you go with this. It does affect some things that are going to happen very, 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 very soon.
Considering what happened to the rest of your family, I think it might be beneficial to for people not to know who you are for the moment.
Oh, she's
Just
already
saying.
fucked that up royally. But
Oh yeah, that's already gone.
Yeah, she has.
We're gonna have to go full honest here because the game's still on. That company's mine. I mean, yay, big sis, I love you. Yeah, the only part that she's leaving out is the Mad God part.
okay.
The part where she was charged with the crime. We're leaving. We're making that's staying in Rel. And she will stress that a various because one of the nemesis referred to the other as Cabal, right? Cabal.
Cabal.
Yeah, that's 100% being reported. Because if there's generals out there on the field, they might need to know.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I'm leaving out Abigail.
You're leaving out Abigail. Are you telling them anything about the Iron Legion, what you've seen there?
Wait a second.
No.
Let me ask: is Aurora the place with the ginormous tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I talked to the fucking tree because I learned to speak with plants, bitches. That's what I do on my downtime. I talk to the motherfucking tree that I've been wanting to do since level uno.
Boggle, important question. What is your con score?
16 now. Why?
Okay, good. So
So he doesn't turn to glass.
It's my second highest stat, actually.
so if Willow's unconscious, do not touch her.
What does she say that? If she tells them, if I'm unconscious, don't touch me. What the
So if
That's
your
Right.
weird.
body's not strong enough, or my nice aura's not up, which it's not when I'm sleeping, there's a teeny tiny chance you get forever turned glass.
Cool, let's do that.
It's already happened to people.
It happened to somebody at the worst possible
No,
moment.
cool. We
and
can
that
do
may
that.
have fucked me over. Thanks, Willow.
We can do that, and then I can not. I can play Minier again. Let's do it. Let's kill Boggle off.
But I'm already running out of friends. My mentor died, Mr. Dragon. I was gonna ask him to be my mentor, but then he threw himself in the way so I could live, and I don't know why.
Your characters are always so neurotic, bro. It's horrible.
I mean, to be fair, she liked Mr. Dragon, and Mr. Dragon sacrificed himself to save her.
Yeah. This is the dragon from the vault, right?
Yep.
You know, I missed all the sessions with the dragon entirely. Like
There was
the
multiple
one where
dragons.
the one with the dragon was met. I missed it, and then the next time we didn't talk to him. We were too busy fighting, and then I missed ones after that, so I didn't ever meet the dragon at all.
Well, there was a big fight that had 2 dragons involved in it.
Here's a little bit of his ashes left. You can talk to him.
It makes like a little smiley face in the ashes.
Like here you
Look,
go. He
he's
was
happy.
nice.
You look like your old self again.
No, for real. I want to talk to the giant tree man.
Okay, we'll go into that. Okay, so
I don't think Bartha did anything wrong to not include in the report.
I mean, you know, other than his gambling charge, but other than that, we don't need to worry about that.
And I think Elodia needs to make sure she doesn't include, almost shooting the running away civilian.
I mean,
Don't worry
that's
about
not
it.
the worst thing. I mean, she completely hates children now. It's like one of those things that you kind of start seeing during your week of downtime. Like she sees kids and she almost like hisses at them and they run away screaming from her. So
What the fuck has happened to Elodie in my absence?
Feywild.
People made very poor decisions in the Feywild. That's what happened.
yeah, Barth had the entire memory and experiences of the love of his life completely erased
Yeah.
from there, which he's been rebuilding back up.
Yeah, I've missed too much. I'm out. Peace.
Don't worry about it.
So, all right. So, let's see. We got what. So yeah, that pretty much covers what I need to know what the Landers are going to learn here because they have their own things that they're. Because remember, they have their own operatives that they kind of confirm happenings as well, and they kind of compare it back to what you tell them to see if there's other things that they need to kind of delve into. So, one of the big things that goes over with your conversations with the Landers. So Ziri, the little halfling with the maul that you've talked to for most of the week, she commends you on a lot of your actions. The helping of some of the small towns from being assaulted by giants, uncovering the giant stronghold, dealing with alien-like creatures, the aberrations that dwelled within some of the caverns there, discovery of some of the creatures that you've seen, the assault on Reldon, the conspiracies, the warring internal factions within Reldon, though you had nothing really to do with the cause of that, but just some of the things that you've done to bring it to light and how deep the rabbit hole went. You know, their involvement within trying to locate and steal the treasures of the vault that you rightfully returned back to the city and the rightful owners. So they don't care that you've started your own business or that you've, done things for yourself. That's, it's respectable business. It seems above board as far as they're concerned. They do take note about, a ghost that's living there, but it doesn't seem to be a hostile entity. So they just kind of keeping an eye on it just in case. But outside of that, you're fine with them in those regards. Overall, they do reward you for everything that you've done. Some of the things that they reward you with, right off the bat, now this monetary sum may seem lowball, but you have other things that are coming your way with it, which more than make up for other monetary values. So each of you are going to get 125 gold, but you will each have a few other items that you get to kind of pick from. So the things that you can pick from here, and this is something that sadly I cannot just copy and paste.
We're all getting this?
Well, yeah, since you're all landers. So now I'm going to try to put this in list of choices here. So and I'll try to explain them as I go over, just so there's, again, I'm trying to type as fast as I can with this. Because, again, these are just rewards coming from your faction. You've also been granted a higher rank within your faction as well. And we're going to go over some of that. Let's see. Okay. So, everybody gets something from here. Now, the first row, you can either have a +1 weapon or a +1 shield of your choice, and you get a +1 armor. So you can have like a shield and a magical armor, or a weapon and a magical armor. The second line, you can have one of any of those four. So you can either get a Cloak of Elvenkind, a Cloak of Protection, a Ring of Resistance, or a Ring of Spell Storing. Whichever your character would find the prettiest shiny. And these are given to you as symbols of your new ranks within the Fearless Landers.
This is going straight on eBay.
So basically, you're essentially a rank 3 of the Fearless Landers, meaning they still have like higher level like mentors and faction leaders, but you're not a scrub, you're not an apprentice. You've paid your dues, you've proven your worth, and you have gained access to certain privileges and things that lower ranking members would not have access to. As tokens of your new status, that's what these items represent. And we're going to go over another thing that you get access to once your characters kind of make that choice. So, as you're given these items from Ziri, well, I must say, you have done quite well. In fact, some of the higher ranking members have taken notice to your actions, and, well, they believe that you are ready to hear or be introduced to a well-guarded secret of the Landers. They believe that you are trustworthy enough for this, but this is something that they themselves would like to speak to you directly about. If you would follow me, I will take you and introduce you to them in person.
Ooh.
So, and for this, this is when you're giving your little depositions, your reports of everything that's been going on, and while you're, after the final report's been given in, that's when you've been promoted, and she's taking you as a group to meet these persons, these individuals. She takes you to the out of the offices, back to the inner catwalks of the Nymphs Rest, the ones that have the staircases that lead downwards. They have the businesses kind of built into the insides of the Nymphs Rest through the trunk. And the catwalks are how you navigate through those. But there's still that central wooden pillar that goes as far as I can see to the base, to the top of the Nymphs Rest. She takes you to the part of the catwalk that's actually connected to this central pillar, which it looks like it's connected for stability purposes. That is not the case, apparently. As she waits, as if she's getting instructions from somebody. After a few minutes, the central pillar just kind of almost turns partially transparent. Inside, you see a gentleman in kind of a semi-robe. Like the upper part of his clothing is very robe-like, but the bottom part is clearly like leather breeches, boots. Mostly earthen colors, except for the top part of the robes, which are a kind of a slightly darker blue. Not quite navy, but a little lighter than that. Looks half elf with short spiked brown hair. Has this weird, almost like earring that looks like part animal fetish, just kind of hanging in it on his right ear, and he's got these tattoos going down his exposed right and left arms. Some of the tattoos kind of you can see go to his chest through the robe-like top that he has. Ziri. So these were the ones that fought bravely the Battle of Ralden. I am Rory. Rory of the Sparrow Network. We have much to discuss. Please, step inside. And he gestures for you to walk into the transparent trunk of that core pillar of the Nymph's Rest.
Okay. And Imri just walks through.
Oh, this seems well, this seems a bit special. Bart's gonna follow.
Don't worry, it'll be okay. This is like the fourth or fifth time I've walked into a secret cult hideout.
You tend to have a habit of that, don't you?
Look, when you're trying to find power to be the best, you end up in a lot of weird places.
If you say so.
Well, is there anybody that doesn't go? I'm not going to force your characters if you don't want to go, but you will split the party if you don't.
Boggle throws a tantrum on the floor because the guy is a cooler druid than him and does not go. No, I'm just kidding. There, because of your disclaimer. Anyone who don't want to go, I'm like, bump it, man. Let's add some excitement and pretend like I won't. But no, I would go.
I go in.
And go in as
Okay.
How dare you speak, Elodia?
I'm offended.
I'm Willow.
So, once you all step into the interior, you realize that the interior here, it's a large enough cavity of that pillar to house what looks to be a teleportation circle. And once you're all in, this Rory activates the circle. Once he does, he puts his hand on the trunk and becomes transparent. And he just kind of gestures for you to step through. So, what you see on the other side here is, at first, you see what appears to be more like offices, similar to what you saw in the Fearless Landers, just a place where information can be gathered, processed, discussed. You see almost like wallboards hung up with writing and, various notices and people trying to, link information that's been gathered for various purposes. You don't know, could be their missions, their information networks, informants, whatnot. It's very interesting to kind of look at a glance. Beyond that, you can see what looks to be, from just at a glance, to be some sort of grand library. From floor to ceiling, shelves of books, shelves that some require ladders to get to the second part, the second floor of the library. There's just craning your head. There's a large, what can best be described as a training center, various dummies, target boards for arrows, thrown weapons, things of that nature, as well as fighting dummies and even battle mats where people can just kind of practice against one another, which there are two people sparring with swordplay right now. Appears to be a drow elf female in this almost like scale mail, and the combatant is a Goliath, and they're just kind of sparring, going back and forth. Let's see. So this is all that you can see right here, just because you haven't stepped out. You're just kind of craning your head about. So he steps out of that center core pillar of the tree. Welcome to the Sparrow Crew offices. Please, come this way.
Okay. It's not a trap, right, guys?
I'm having flashbacks.
It's a bit of a trap. If it is, which I doubt, I don't.
Well, if you want, you can make history checks. I mean, they are throwing around some famous names.
Like Valis Hune.
I mean, if anybody wants to see if their characters may recognize some things that they're talking about.
Emery will. You know, this might
Yep,
just
didn't think so.
pertain to her backstory.
All right.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
why I didn't
hey,
even want to
she might
bother
not be as
rolling.
pissed as she is right now.
There we go.
Well, Willow does remember a little bit about the Sparrow crew just because how instrumental they were in defeating her former employer.
Well, I mean, Boggle knows enough of that. I mean, that's something that's, and Barth, you know, it's pretty common. It's things that bards would sing about. You don't have to, you know, be a bookworm to, you know, learn about this. This is just common tales. But yes, Willow will know a bit more about that, as they had a great deal to do with not only in the first Nemesis War, but also had a hand, at least some of its members, in helping end the second Nemesis War. But predominantly their influence was in the first, when the whole full force of the Sparrow crew was utilized to stop the Mad God. Now, the Sparrow Network is kind of like I want to say a boogeyman, but more of something that people just rumor about, you know, like, oh, well, there's, you know, people trying to, you know, do good and try to, you know, still try to fight the darkness that lurks about that, where like the mouths of madness try to manipulate things from the shadows. The Sparrow Network's kind of the opposite of that. They do operate, at least for rumors, you know, the way it sounds, that they operate also in secrecy, but they do so to try to make things, you know, changes for the better for people, to try to negate darker organizations from negatively influencing the lives of many, you know, sacrificing people for whatever ill-gotten gains that they have. They try to make sure that it's a level playing field for everyone and that people don't needlessly suffer. So that's what goes on, at least from what she knows, with that, what she can kind of recall and gather about. Now, Rory leads you over past the little training area. Doesn't go into the grand library, which, as you peek up, goes up several stories. It looks like you would have to take like another teleportation circle just to get to some of the other areas of this library. It is that large. But he does take you into a room of offices that you see scribes diligently kind of working. Some of them have like hand-drawn caricatures, pictures of individuals that they've, you know, writing names of, and they're kind of putting them on walls with like links to other people. You're not sure the significance of what they're doing, but they're Mordecai, you are probably the only one that can recognize at least some of what they're doing, just from your time in the military. This is basic intelligence gathering. of some sorts.
Okay.
So you don't know what they're gathering intelligence on, but from what you recognize the setups here, this is where some of your officers would be, discussing plans and talking about, various targets and persons of interest and their connections within networks, things like that. You recognize the setup and how it is. So you're like, okay, I see what they're doing here. Now, how you process that, how you feel about that is maybe a different thing, but you recognize it. Now, Rory does take you into an office and has a large table. It's almost oval. It's just a very oblong, and asks you to please take a seat.
So I'll grab a seat across from her.
Well, Rory's a man.
Him.
So he hasn't sat down yet. He's still just kind of standing. He's just waiting for.
Boggle picks up a seat and walks back out of the room because he said grab a seat, so I'm taking it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, Boggle, got to bring it back.
Are you Boggle? Are you trying to reference Suburban Commando?
Okay, you're pretty good on getting that, but yeah. All right, I'm just messing around.
So, well, yeah, it's bad when you start picking up on bad Hulk Hogan movies. So, anyway, all right. So you all sit down in this room that, for the most part, it's got minimal decorations in here. Most of the things in here serve some sort of purpose. Like they'll have little vases that fill with water, little cups for the water. They'll have little stacks of parchment, inkwells, just readily available on the table. And once you all take in a seat, Ori just kind of leans over the end of the table and looks at you all. Well, what you've been shown here so far is one of Tur's greater secrets. The Sparrow Network is one of the pivotal forces in not only keeping ahead of some of the greater evils in this realm, but also stopping them. From your actions, it seems like you may be kindred spirits in what we believe. And it is in that, through your actions as Fearless Landers, that we would like to extend a invitation into the network, if you so choose. Now, please understand I cannot go into too much detail until I know that you all understand the importance of our secrecy and that you are on our side and will work alongside us in our endeavors to protect everyone in Tor from far greater evils than they can comprehend.
I don't know. I can comprehend them pretty well.
Well, you would considering your first-hand experience. But
Let's not discuss.
I certainly have no objections to something like this. I mean, it seems like something we are doing anyway.
What would be expected of us? Is this another one of those, if you ring the bell, we have to come running?
If we have to ring the bell, then you should already be running. If not towards us, then for your own lives, as something has gone horribly wrong. No, we do not summon you like dogs, though we do try to keep you, let's just say, informed of, well, hang on, I'm trying to pull up something here that's not quite loading. And seems like my note thing has crashed, which is why it's not pulling up. Do apologize. These things happen.
Such is the pain of computers.
Such as the thing is way overtasking. Okay, so, but let me put it to you in another perspective. In military operations, even in wannabe adventuring groups, the things that can forge heroes from the harshest of circumstances, these groups are built around the skills of their individual members. But no matter how good each one of those members may be, every task, every quest, every mission eventually comes down to just one thing: how well they work together. Because when I tell you that in the end, Tor doesn't need a hero, and your group doesn't need a hero to succeed out in the darkest of dungeons, you need a team. What we do is we provide you with the information that you need to survive for each one of those individual members of your group to succeed in what they do best. And in return, your adventuring, the information that you gather is what helps protect the people of this land more than you can possibly comprehend. You see, covert intelligence at its most basic level is in itself a type of weapon. Like any weapon, it can be used for good or evil. It can make wars or peace. It can serve justice or power. In the end, it comes down to just one truth: what the person decides to do with that. And we choose to use it as a weapon for good, to fight the evils of this realm. Now, that is what we stand for. That is what we expect of you. Is this too much? Have we misread you?
Well, it seems that we have common goals for the most part.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Like,
this works.
not like I'm not used to getting pulled in. Not like I'm not used to getting pulled in to things far above my pay grade. Anyway.
I have but one question. How do you feel about the local leadership changes?
That is a much more complicated discussion.
That's a good enough answer for me.
Do you have a room that I can scream in frustration that no one else will hear for a moment?
I mean, you already said that you were going to do it. Doesn't not being able to hear kind of
Oh, no, she still wants to scream in frustration.
Oh, I mean, you could always use one of the lavatories and scream to your heart's content.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna be back.
She must really have to go poop.
And with her screaming, it could sound like a very violent poop. Be like Austin Powers, you know? Come on, man, we're going to get through this. Who does number 2 work for?
Poor Imri.
So
So what do you think, Boggle, Elodia?
Boggle's busy stealing chairs.
I'm in.
Boggle.
All right, throw in the chair and we'll agree.
Actually, I would like to make a request as well.
You're right. 2 chairs and cushion.
No. I would I believe I am on the verge of being able to grasp the arcane might to make use of the teleportation circles. I was wondering if I could have access to one here in Aurora.
Possible. I would have to see which circle you are requesting access to and where you plan on linking that to.
Honestly,
the secrecy of our organization and its locations is paramount to our success.
honestly, any one circle that is safe to come into Aurora, just so we can return very quickly when we are out doing things.
I think we can accommodate you on such a circle.
That would be great. Thank you.
Let's see. So, I think it's best that you understand just how dangerous things are in the realm at the moment.
But we have Barth. He killed a Titan in 5 seconds.
Well, while the bards sing of his heroic endeavors, which, granted, he did go toe-to-toe with such a monstrosity from our reports, it was much longer than 5 seconds, and while he did get the killing blow, he did have some help in that battle.
I mean, Yeah, I didn't do it all. I mean, I didn't do it all by myself, obviously.
Oh,
So,
don't say that. No, I was there. He did it all.
so waiting for Imri to come back, as well as somebody else to join in the meeting. Imri, when she returns, is she of a better mental state?
Yeah. For her, this is just kind of this is all she was needing while she was in the cloaks to get into. Now she's been backstabbed by them, and she's just kind of sitting here like, wow, fuck.
I got what I wanted, but a little too late.
So she's just 300% pissed.
Fair enough. So, as she comes back, 3 times as pissed as she was prior, somebody else joins the meeting room. A woman who barely seems like she's in her early 20s. Definitely not of Turian descent. Human, but not of the local lineages here. With her almond-shaped eyes give tell of her true lineage, which is of somebody from Tia Zien. And she has black hair that's pulled back into kind of a ponytail. She wears what looks to be almost like an off pink, kind of like to a white, almost like a kimono, but you can see the various little plates of armor that she has on. She has a sword strapped to her hip. It looks almost like it's some sort of katana. She also has a black bow strapped to her back. She wears a little pink lotus on her right above her left breast. And as she looks at the group here, she looks at Rory, who just kind of nods and she smiles. I'd like everybody to make another history check. And Willow will does recognize at least this woman from a image that she saw when she was linked up to the little parasite.
Well, I apparently know who the fuck she is.
Imery has no clue, but she's just kind of enjoying the sight.
So, well, Alodia and Barth do pick up on this woman. She is actually someone that you've heard tales about. You've even may have read about her in a book. She was or is, depending on how you want to look at it, part of the original Sparrow crew, which doesn't quite make too much sense, being that she looks like she's 22. She is known as Princess Kisune. She was there during the predominantly in the Second Nemesis War. One of the 2 last known existing persons to have been there when the Mad God was supposedly destroyed or slain. One of the few people to have seen and met the Mad God in person and live to tell the tale. Well, I would like to welcome you all to the Sparrow Cruise Network. There is much danger around these lands as of late, and I believe it would be best if you heard it directly from somebody at the top rather than from various other sources within our network. But there is a few shadow organizations here that are not only shifting the political influences, but succeeding in doing so. Not only that, the same forces are weakening our military, and I believe have set up the city-states for a coup. The hands of power are about to shift in these lands, and this couldn't come at a worse time. And she has not sitting down. She has not sat down. She's just standing, walking kind of around the table as she's speaking to each one of you. Tell me, have any of you heard of the Sacred Promenade Massacre?
Yep, I was there.
I can't say I'm familiar with that, no.
What is it? Another history to know?
No more. We were there, Mordecai.
That was the day that.
Have
the
you
heavens-
heard of the?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were all here, by the way. It
Not
was
all.
here.
I mean, I
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, Marth wasn't. Never.
So, some people were
Have you
not
heard
and
here.
neither,
KLC?
and neither was Lauren.
Yeah.
Forget all of you. I'm gonna burn this bitch to the ground. Give me my red state.
Do you mean the demons that appeared?
Everything made of blood and raining blood and demons coming out of
Right.
blood and all that.
Yes, the day that Tur was put on notice by a god king who would be making their arrival. That same day, the proprietor of the Nymph's Rest, a good friend of mine, one that we have fought in battles against great evils of the realm, Marie, was struck down, wounded greatly. At the time that I heard of the news, as I was gathering information for our network, I came straight to Aurora to find out what had happened. Arrived on horseback into the city. This was before the Chimera had arrived. Little did I know at the time that Marie was not the actual target of the assassination attempt. I was.
Does she look anything like Marie at all?
No, Marie and her
Oh, okay.
complete. Marie looks almost like
Okay.
like an innocent, like a porcelain doll. like of a young
Yeah,
woman.
because Marie's a fake person. So yeah, we know that.
Yeah, she doesn't look fake, but she still looks young, like flawlessly young. No scars, no markings, just like perfect. And it's in this perfection that it's kind of disturbing. And for what she, says that she is,
So
whom she is, she should be a lot older.
in other words, she's so nearly perfect that you want to destroy it because it bothers you and you want to make it ugly.
It
Oh.
make well, no, not that you hate it.
I'm just playing.
vile. No, it's just one of those. It's unnatural.
Okay, creepy lady, stay away from her. Good to know.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Ari kind of digs out her the bullet that she gathered after the assassination. I mean, this one blasted right into the ground. It was pretty powerful.
And you holding out the bullet.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Imri,
Yeah.
you immediately recognize that bullet. You have seen and heard about those rounds. The description of it. It was such an odd thing that somebody would be using these to kill people. It kind of took the sport out of it. The challenge out of it was like it's so easy a baby could do it. But apparently now the assassins that use these are not necessarily part of your network. People of your network have heard about them, and what you know is that supposedly a pair of brothers are using a combination of magic and this new, steam tech weaponry in tandem for purposes far beyond what they were intended to do, perverting their purposes. And in one of their such discoveries, made powerful weapons. One of the
Are they
weapons,
gnomes?
she has no idea.
I
Or
bet
what
you
it-
the brothers got to be gnomes. They're the only ones that are gonna make guns.
But the one that for that round is said to be so potent that often the target dies before anybody notices or hears the weapon firing.
So, I heard a rumor about bullets like that. And she, tells what she knows.
If we could get something like this, do you know how much that would sell for?
No.
I don't think that's not really the appropriate time.
Bad Airy, no.
Okay.
Those
Is
violent.
now the appropriate time?
No. Does anyone have rope?
I love it, man. I love it. Oh, okay. Not even a half a second late is now the appropriate time. Dang it,
Okay, but I bet
Anthony.
now
Shut
is
up.
though.
Ari,
I've missed you guys.
We'll tell you when the appropriate time is. How about that?
Well, pretty lady, I apologize for our friend here. She just doesn't really know when to be, polite.
Okay, Barth. But I'm Willow, so is now the appropriate time?
No,
No, you're
I.
Ari. Remember, we're not doing the bit anymore.
Well, I mean, it's still easier just to call me Willow, so that way we don't go. She points at Imri. Airy. A Mary?
I'm gonna. I have a raging headache now. Okay, so, anyways.
Well, point being, I am now a prisoner of the Nimsrust, as I believe that the same assassins here are waiting to take their opportunity to kill me the moment I make myself present outside of these walls.
Well, we can find out some of that. Can't you talk to the tree? Like if there's guys hiding out in the tree and it's in contact with them, it could let you know.
No, I don't believe they're hiding in the tree, and yes, we have means of communicating with the tree. But no, I believe they're somewhere else in the city, waiting to make their move. What disturbs me greatly is the increased presence of the Chimera mercs that roam around the promenade, as the Stardew Merchant Company seems to have taken a great interest into the Nymph's Rest.
So, can we
I'm
talk
all
about
in.
the assassins for a little bit longer? Now, I may have heard another rumor about a place that they might be at, or another group of them. And she scribbles down a note with no. Do you guys have a map or something of Aurora?
Yeah, they have they have lots of maps, and they do have one of Aurora.
Again, this is just about a rumor I've heard, but she scribbles down every single cloak hideout that's in the area that she knows of.
Oh, you're making friends real fast.
Now, so you know, from what I've been told, these people are pretty dangerous. But, yeah. Now, odd question. If you do end up fighting them and can finally leave this place, how about we go on a date? And she does finger guns.
Oh my god.
Dude, she's a bard in nature.
All right.
Boggle says, "I'm out." Holds up 2 fingers and leaves.
Make a reflex save as the fireballs start flying towards you.
So you're trying to persuade her into a date?
Oh yeah, she is definitely doing that.
Make a persuasion check. And she is also going to ask while you make that check. And how is it that you've come across that information?
You know what bards do in their free time with people they think are pretty? I can't
Bone,
take
bone, bone, bone. That's what they do.
You can just see Barth in the background face palming.
Well,
Boggle says exactly like this. He goes, and rolls his.
are y'all trying to do the proverbial cock block on Ivory now?
No, not.
Maybe.
No, I'm perfectly willing to let Emery get into whatever problems whatever bad situation she wants to.
Listen, those assassins put a
They should have.
God, what is it?
Blood hunt.
Yeah, a blood hunt on her. She's done. She has done her best for them.
Well, ironically, with blood hunt on Imri, she's going to be in a similar situation as Kitsune there, as sooner or later, Imri's just, doing whatever, and she's just going to be attacked, and she's just going to have people coming out the woodwork to try to claim a bounty on her because, as far as they're concerned, and now she's kind of proving it in a different way, that she is a traitor to their organization. And she is.
Here's the beauty of that, though. All you have to, in those cases, you haven't seen enough movies. All you have to do in the cases where the evil organization is coming after you is be the baddest son of a bitch around, to where you can kill every single fuck they send after you, and then you're golden, and it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
that's her plan.
So yeah, she's basically doing the plot of John Wick 3. So,
But you have to survive to get to that point.
but yeah, so that's where Imri's at, and Kitsune says, "Oh,
She's taking it in stride.
Let's see if you get this reference, Dave. A lot happens on the road to 500. Probably not. Pretty awesome.
it's familiar."
I'll give you. You want the actor or the movie? I'll give you the actor, and then because the movie is actually what you should guess. Then
I want to say that I typed the quote into Google, and it's obscure enough that nothing
cheated.
came up about it.
oh well,
Nothing came up about it.
Those are the best quotes, dude. That's why you want to do obscure ones. You don't want to do ones that everybody's.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you go, there you are.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have said
Exactly.
anything if something had come up, but nothing came up. I got annual reports of the several departments of the city, and Halifax and Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if it's from Nova Scotia, then it's obviously Trailer Park Boys. So there we go.
No, knock around, guys. The bar scene. Anyway, that's pretty obscure, but
That
it's
is
good.
pretty. Yeah, that's wow. One I haven't seen in a while. It's like I want to say I saw that probably at the same time I saw Boiler Room.
Yeah, it's a while back. I saw it kind of recently, like last year, so that's probably why it's still in my brain. No, but the point is, the road to 500, baddest mofo around, that kind of thing. The road to 500.
Well, so well, Kitsune will continue. Well, the other issue around Aurora is that we have the armies of the Ravagers around, and apparently, Aurora's military was thought to be best spent guarding the outer walls of the city, makeshift camps to ward off the patrols and the random attacks by these wildlings, and, well, while those forces are out there, the city welcomed the Chimera as their internal protection, and they are under the employ of the Stardew Merchant Company. Now, while they are paid enforcement, they do the job of local guards very well, though their tact and, well, the methods they employ are questionable. They are trying to keep things safe, but, well, I would advise not to cause trouble out in the streets. They Are you familiar with the Alabaster Plateau? The lands up into the icy north. The areas outside of the Morning Mountain in Tor Thorum.
I just heard about that place, right?
I mean, it's a major land, but I mean, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't have like National Geographic on it. But what most people know about it, at least those who,
No,
Mhm.
no. I mean, that's where they said Abigail was, right?
no, she's not
That-
in
That'd
that.
be a terrible place to stick her.
Yeah, that's very, because the Alabaster Plateau is essentially like it's frontier. It's early Wild West.
Oh
It-
yeah, that's where Aetherius went.
Yes, that's where he's out doing his thing. There are settlements. There are people that just go out there to survive, have peaceful lives. It is a harsh land, but those that can make a home can earn honest livings. It's also a place where a lot of criminals go to start a new life because it's so remote in a lot of places that they don't know of these criminals' past lives. So some of them can go back up there and cause trouble again, or they can go start a new life and nobody will be the wiser. The problem with that place is there's not a lot of law. So when people do make trouble, it's a lot of frontier justice. It's not a lot of due process. People tend to, swing from trees or, either get jailed or killed, most of the time killed. And the Chimera Mercs apparently employ a similar sort of justice when dealing with criminals in Aurora. So they might catch somebody pickpocketing or somebody stealing something, for example, and instead of arresting them and taking them to a local jail, they might just get killed right there in the street and then just take their body and just throw it into, wherever they want to dispose of it. Criminal caught in the act, done, taken care of. They continue their day.
Cool.
So they are not quite, I wouldn't say evil, but definitely more of a lawful neutral kind of company. They'll do things for coin, but they don't really have a working moral compass. So they could do things to protect the greater good. They can do things that may seem questionable, but it gets the job done, and they don't really care as long as the job gets done. So, and that's the kind of thing that right now Stardew has, and apparently, unknown how they've done it, they've also seemed to tip the once perfectly balanced scales of power within the Concordant into their favor. Even just slightly so kind of hurts that system.
And I don't know how. This is a psychopath. I mean, she's really good at setting things on fire, but
So what you're saying is she's a fire starter.
oh, she's burning the house down. Probably literally.
So what you're saying is she's a talking head.
Or Prodigy. Yeah. Yeah.
They were the original fire starters.
And I don't, never mind. I've effed myself up.
Or
right
was that
there.
or was that Peter Gabriel? Who was the one that didn't start the fire back in the 80s? The song we didn't.
It was
Start?
always burning since the world's been turned.
Yeah.
It's Billy Joel.
That was Billy Joel? Okay. Peter Gabriel was Sledgehammer, I think.
Yeah, he did sing that song.
Okay. A little fuzzy on the weird 80s musical genres. Anyway, so she's kind of painting the picture of the current state of affairs of Aurora here and just how things have changed since you've been away. And why it's quite dangerous for her to leave the rest. One other thing is we haven't been able to locate someone of a particular skill set. We've been looking for, and when we can't find it, you know it's quite difficult to obtain. We're looking for a Janssen, particularly skilled in golemancy. But rarely do such masters make their appearance in Tor. Most of them are out wandering the world or staying within their gnomish empire or in their home cities.
Most of them are a bunch of blithering idiots, is what they are.
Do not underestimate them. They are.
I'm not talking about their mental prowess. I know they're smart, but they just do weird shit.
They. What if I told you that that is but one of many faces they show the world, and an enemy that underestimates them is usually a quickly defeated enemy.
I never said I was their enemy. I just said they're weird.
I'm just saying to not underestimate them. They are much more cunning and stable than they let on the world to believe. Well, I'm sure Rory can tell you all about the organization and how to access some of our locations and utilize the network. But if you do find such a individual, please bring him here and come see me directly and promptly.
We'll be sure to do that.
Well, it was nice meeting y'all, and good luck. It is a very dangerous world out there, and it is only getting more dangerous as the days pass. And she turns away and walks out the room. I want y'all to make perception checks.
Good job, me.
Well, Elodia.
Of course. Lodia is always on point with the perception.
Always. Elodia, Ivory, and Willow pick up that as she's leaving, her footsteps don't make any sound. Completely silent.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, does Imri actually know anything about this person other than what or
Nope.
everyone else knows? Due to her background?
Due to her backgrounds, I mean, not that's not something that the organization would really go over because she's not really ever been an employer or a target.
Okay.
So they, the people that usually employ them are, everything from warlords to high-end nobles. There have been a few mystery people that have employed them, but that's usually reserved for some of the higher-ranking members because it's usually something unusual with it's more than just kill set target. It may be, kill set target and have it specifically done in a very specific fashion, making it appear that something very specific happened to them. There's lots of caveats that have to be done for a target and a time limit, which is why the higher ranking ones are where they are at, because they can accommodate such things.
Alright.
As she's walking away, Willow's gonna hold up her holy symbol and activate Divine Sense.
Interesting.
So, are there any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet? And does she count?
So, I mean, she does not count as any of those. So she doesn't really ping on that. But let's see. It's not giving me the. Wow, why is this thing being all screwy? Why can't it just give me the information that I want on your ability? I need to see if it's something very specific wording on it. Wait, did they add a sidebar with it? No, of course not. I guess that's one of the annoying things about Beyond. It's like, oh yeah, we found this ability. You click on it. Here's the class that has it. Why don't you just take me to the section with the info that you supposedly detected? It'd be that much quicker.
Yeah.
So, get your shit together, Beyond. Okay, I'm gonna have to do So, okay, now I can actually find a clickable link. I had to search for the word again. Okay, now I can find specifics here. That's no wording. Here we go. Ah, that's what I was looking for. No, you do not. So you do not detect any the locations, presence of the celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet of you.
She looks a little disappointed, but she lowers her arm.
You were hoping, fiend, killer!
She was
I'm gonna
secretly a
activate,
succubus.
I'm gonna activate my Eldritch Sight, see if I detect any magic on her.
Okay. So as you do that, you don't detect any magic on her, but considering, if she is who she says she is with that, not really surprised that somebody would have probably taken measures to prevent that as a means of detection, there are ways to do that. So you're not picking up anything magical upon her person or her herself.
All right.
So she's not under effects of any magical enchantments that you can tell, but some of the things that she has on her look quite unique, and they're not picking up as magic either, which kind of has you raising an eyebrow.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of anti-divination spell. Not that Barth would know that.
Well, there are things that, if cast enough times, do take a permanent effect, which do help mask and prevent against divination of certain types, too.
Yeah.
So,
A certain sword comes back to mind.
but yes, she leaves the room, and as she does so, Worry is, well, we will need to introduce you to the tree, and from there, you will be allowed to use the teleportation circle on the first floor of the Nymph's Rest to access this level, which can only be obtained through the teleportation circles within the Nymph's Rest. And don't worry, those who are not allowed by the tree cannot enter the teleportation circle's chambers. So, with that, he takes you back to the center pillar and takes you back to the teleportation circle, where we are about to go. It is very important you do not wander about, as I cannot guarantee your safety. We are going to follow a very specific path, and we're going to stop at a pond. It is from there that you will drink the waters of the pond. Do you understand?
Don't wander off, drink the pond water. Okay. Seems simple enough.
And as you enter the teleportation circle, he activates it, and you see something quite interesting. Again, through the transparent wall of the teleportation circle. This this area looks to be in a much larger part of the tree itself. It's almost like within the tree hides a fey grotto. You see the dancing emote lights, things, Barth, you will recognize, and you're just like, oh no.
Oh boy, my favorite.
You recognize all the little telltale signs of a Seelie Fey grotto. And you can understand why he mentioned to not wander off, as those places are not safe to mortal kind. There is
As everyone else found out.
So, there's trees in the tree. There are other trees. There are various plant life, flowers, vines. There's a bright light coming from the top of the interior here. It's so bright that if you look at it, your eyes just kind of hurt for a little bit. It's bright like the sun. But some of the canopies of the trees kind of help bring about some shade. So you have that God ray effect going through the leaves and the branches going down. It's very majestic and beautiful to look upon, but there are various animals roaming around here, various deer and things, but you get the feeling that you're being watched by something or some things that you quite can't sense or see fully. You can't quite comprehend. There is a stone path, not like a flagstone, but just like natural rocks in the earth that aren't next to each other, but they're close enough where they resemble a path. And Rory walks on that path, being very careful to stay within these double lines of purple orchids that kind of mirror the sides of this stone path. The path does kind of wind and bend through this interior little grotto and forest glade until you come to this copse of trees. And in this open area, there is a pond. Crystal clear water. You can see little fish swimming down. Very beautiful. And Rory just kind of gestures his hand. Well, here we are. Please, just scoop up some of the pond's water and drink from it.
Mordecai will step up and kneel down in front of the water and place his hand over it and cast Identify. I'm using a spell slot.
I'm going to go ahead to help augment that. Raise my hand up again, Divine Sense.
All right. Let's see. So, I mean, there's no fiends or celestials, undead that you pick up from here. I need to see a property on this. I don't know. It doesn't really give a. Well, actually, that might be the better one to do it. Hang on, because I think that's part of what I'm. You do detect enchantment from there, and from the Identify. The pond water seem to have at least some properties akin to holy water and like a healing potion. It's really
Okay.
odd.
I'll go ahead and take a drink then.
Okay.
I will ask the animals, does anybody drink from that pond?
I will say a fawn nearby picks up on the talk with animals that you see, and it lifts its head up on like the far end of the pond, which is about, let's say, 65 feet from you, and just lifts his head, still, from drinking the water, and says, "Yep," and goes back and drinking the delicious water.
All right, good luck, Mordecai.
Now,
We're all
Mordecai, when you drink the water, do you quietly sip the water, or do you like slurp it like a loud soup, like?
No, it's quiet. I know how to drink.
right. A little
This is
cup and fill it up. And
this,
let's
this is obviously a sacred place.
Okay, so you see Mordecai drink the purifying waters of that pond, and as he does so, Mordecai, you feel rejuvenated. Um, you also feel kind of at peace as well. Your mind seems to almost get instantly more clear. Like, just if you had any kind of fogginess, it's just suddenly gone. Like everything just seems just clearer mentally. Um, in terms of overall well-being, you just suddenly feel like you're in a good place.
Great.
Okay, seeing that Mordecai is okay, I'm gonna drink it.
Yep, time to break out the teacups and have a drink.
Yeah, might as well. Doesn't seem to be bad.
Ira will drink some of the water.
Okay. So, who here is not using their hands?
Oh,
Ira
she
will be
did
using her
specify that,
hands.
didn't she?
Look, just because Rory has a single earring in his right ear does not make him a she.
Oh yeah, did Rory say to use a cup or hands?
Hands.
Okay, yeah, hands.
Yeah. Barth's gonna scoop up some water.
Okay. Well, Elodia was
Right.
the first one after Mordecai to specify a drink. And as she drinks, Elodia, you get the same euphoric feelings that Mordecai is feeling, the clearer head, the sharper vision, heightened awareness of your surroundings, but not a paranoid state or an excited state, more relaxed, just calming, soothing. But something else happens when you drink from this Elodia. The modifications that were made upon you from partaking in the Unseelie Court seem to go away.
Nice, that's good. So I don't hate kids anymore.
No!
You don't want to put an arrow in between a kid's eyes. Yes.
That's good. Okay.
So Imri, upon seeing this, is going to immediately turn to Rory. Do you have a cloak that I can wear? Because if I drink from that, all of my clothes are ripping.
You don't know. You don't
Shit,
know that
I
she
don't
feels
know!
better.
No!
Good luck, sir.
Yeah, you're the only one who has any. You're the only one that has any
Oh, she's
physical.
already doing it!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So as Imri starts to drink from there, Imri, your greenish tint begins to fade away back to its natural healthy blue, but you start to feel kind of odd as you feel like a tightness. At first you're like, am I having a heart attack? There's this tightness in my chest, and then you realize it's not your coming from the inside. It's literally your clothing is tightening and compressing at your skin before, almost like the Incredible Hulk, Imri just grows in size, ripping the threading from her clothing as she returns back to her normal size.
Mordecai's eyes go wide and goes, Hosenscheisen, and slaps her in the back of the head with an invisibility spell.
Mordecai has just turned into mortified.
Huh, I have my tits back. Does anyone have a cloak?
You're now invisible.
Barthol,
I was serious when I said I slapped her in the back of the head with an invisibility spell.
Oh, here's what better. Let's see. As you do that, Imri, Make a dexterity. Let's say an acrobatics check. I was gonna say saving throw, but we'll make an acrobatics check. All right, so as you get smacked in the back of the head and turn invisible, you start to roll a little bit into the pond. You do catch most of the yourself from going in, as your body was just kind of off balance, just drinking and feeling your body grow just didn't help your circumstance. You don't fully go in, but some of you do just kind of go into the pond a little bit. And you're invisible, so everybody sees the water just kind of displace a little bit, where parts of Imri's body is now partially submerged. Like her hands are just like up to the elbows or just into the pond.
Right, I'm taking a drink before she taints the pond.
I mean, before her taints the pond. All right.
Mm.
So, Willow, you're taking a drink. As you take a drink, you're still a dryad. That has not changed. But your very sharp shark's teeth, your just from drinking the water, you don't feel nauseous as you normally do when you eat or drink anything. You feel a little different in that regards. You feel your mouth kind of reshape a bit, and you don't get sick when you drink from the water. But you do have the same euphoria that Elodia and Mordecai and Imri, who also experienced that as well. That calming mental clarity.
I can eat dinner again.
All right, I believe Barth, you were next.
Yeah.
All right.
This is where the tears happen.
So Barth scoops up the water and begins to drink. And for once, Barth doesn't receive some sort of fake curse or, detrimental effect or even mental psychosis from interacting with anything in the Feywild.
Surprisingly.
And drinks the water, and it is actually it doesn't really have a taste to it, which in itself technically is a taste. It's not like mineral water or anything like that. It's just clear of impurities.
It tastes like clean water.
Yeah, and it's slightly cool too, so it's it's tasty. And you drink it, you feel that mental sharpness, you just that overall calming peace, like everything's going to be okay.
Well, gladly. Well, for once, nothing bad happened. That's disconcerting.
It makes him even more suspicious. It's like waiting for Stewie to get his revenge. All right, and Boggle. What does Boggle do? Boggle.
I thought he said like be right back.
Did he?
When he's bored.
Okay. I must have missed that. Okay, so Boggle fell in and dropped. No, just kidding. He just...
Boggle turns into a squid and hops right in.
That would be kind of in character.
Yeah.
But aren't squids saltwater?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you could just become a freshwater squid. I mean,
What?
There are freshwater squid.
There are? Okay. I thought they were all saltwater.
I googled it just to be sure.
All right, so Boggle's doing something that we're not sure of. So we'll just, for the time being, Rory will look down upon you and, well, seeing as that you are all still alive and not convulsing in pain, means that the tree has accepted you. Means that we accept you. Welcome to the Sparrow Network.
Wait, that was a possibility?
Well,
I mean, thank you for letting me in.
not everyone passes the trees test.
What happens to those that are not accepted?
I think you already said that.
I missed it. Sorry.
Convulsing in pain and agony.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never leave the grotto.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know what? At least I
Hmm.
have my height back.
Says nothing.
To be fair, I mean, that's not a lot of height.
Yes, but now I'm not as short as Boggle.
No, you were shorter.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I need something to wear. Everything's on for show, and as much of a streaker as I am,
No, I mean,
I don't think Mordecai here can handle it.
It's fine. Your invisibility lasts an hour. So you might want
Oh,
to get
yeah,
out of the
it's my
sacred
greater-
grotto.
Yeah, Imri just starts to leave.
stay with the group, you idiot.
Just get out of the pond.
Fine,
need any
Imri
mo-
gets
we don't-
out of the pond.
We don't need
Well, we
any
don't-
more face stuff going on.
So, you know, her being invisible actually makes this harder to stick with the group.
Would you rather be invisible or would you rather be naked?
Oh, you need to realize Imri has no sense of modesty. She genuinely doesn't care.
Well,
We do. So you're going to stay invisible for a little.
This is a great turn of events. I'm loving it.
so we are headed back to the.
There you go, Celica.
Oh my god, the tree is flirting. Okay, yeah, Imri's done here. Holy
Oh,
shit.
I thought you would. I thought you'd be in favor of that.
There are a very slight amount of things that might catch her off guard. Knowing that the tree is the pond, that's weird.
You know there's a word for this, right?
Hmm.
It is dendrophilia.
Holy shit.
Well,
Chris.
Willow can tell you all about that.
I mean, she is
Oh.
walking of that, so I mean, sure.
So, Boggle, your turn to drink from the pond.
What?
Yep.
I come back at the weirdest times. Talking about dendrophilia and shit.
Yeah, the tree's flirting with Amory,
The tree is flirting with Amory. That's interesting.
who's also naked and invisible.
Boggle, you come back at the darndest times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the heck, man?
It all makes sense. You just had to have been here.
It's because she's no longer a midget, so all of her clothes exploded.
And then I slapped her in the back of the head with my last second level spell and cast invisibility on her.
You know, you're not helping to make this make any more sense to poor Rick.
Come on, that makes sense, right?
Out of context party actions. It's a good thing these are recorded just for these purposes. So, yeah. So, Boggle, do you drink from the pond?
What is the significance of drinking from the pond? Remember, I just got back, so I don't know.
If you,
To communicate with the tree.
Well, I have a spell. I can speak with plants now. That's what I was saying. Before, when we were here last time, I didn't have the magic. I wasn't powerful enough. So I was trying to talk to the tree, and I called the tree an a-hole and all that. Remember that? And it was, yeah. So this is, yeah, I think this is before. I don't even know. Were you
No.
here already, Amory? Or no?
It's a different character.
Oh, yeah. But then the like golem things or whatever, they like looked at me like, we're gonna fuck you up if you piss us off, and I was like, oh shit, man, I need to get powerful and talk to this motherfucker. So now I have that magic and can speak to the tree. But if they said I can drink from the pond to talk to it, I might as well save magic and drink from the pond.
Okay.
And then I'll be tripping balls. It'll be cool. Let's trip balls, dudes.
So, all right. So, Boggle, you take the waters in your hands, you drink it. I mean, it tastes refreshing. You get a sense of euphoria as you drink from it. Your mind kind of clears a bit, but you're at peace internally. However, as Boggle drinks from it, the rest of you see something interesting with Boggle just for a few moments. The young gnome that you've been seeing suddenly takes on a different appearance, much different. Just for a second or two, Boggle does not look like a gnome. He looks like a hairless, white, almost grayish in appearance, humanoid with almost no facial features, like no nose, no mouth, just some sunken eye sockets where the eyes would be, and like little tiny holes where the ear canals would be. Has the skeleton and musculature of a humanoid, like you can see the shoulders, the chest, the hips, legs, things like that. It's just for a brief moment that you see this, and then he just looks like Boggle again.
huh, he did that thing again. That's how he looked when I still had the eyeball.
That seems bad, potentially.
Are we on drugs?
I
think
mean,
so.
possibly.
What are you telling me? My character's not my character, Dave? I'm like a mud person or some.
There's some things with your character.
You're an a-hole, Dave.
It's all part of the little side things for your character.
Someone animated the stone, and it's Boggle. He's running.
Wow.
It's it's like a song from like the late '80s.
I don't. Well, I don't think Boggle qualifies as a one-eyed monster.
I'm just kidding, man.
So, yeah, that's what happens briefly to Boggle. Boggle,
Yeah,
you don't
that's weird,
realize it.
dude. I don't. Of course, I don't. It's weird. So, I thought I would be tripping balls. This is weird water. It makes other people trip balls.
All right, who wants to tell Boggle? 1, 2, 3, not it.
Don't look at me. You physically can't see me. It's not my job.
Not it.
I nominate Elodia for this one.
Why me?
I second it.
So, Lodia, do you tell Boggle that for a moment he got whiter than a Republican fundraiser?
I don't know what to tell. I want to say.
Look, just go tell him that he turned into weird skeletal.
So okay, I
Super
go to
Pearl.
Boggle and say, Boggle, can you turn into? And then I, what do you call this? I describe what I saw.
No.
You guys saw what I saw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just draw me a picture.
Okay,
I
I
walk
start
up
drawing a
to-
picture.
I walk up to Boggle and wiggle my fingers and make a small hologram with prestidigitation in the palm of my hand, show him what he looked like.
I think you need minor illusion for that one.
Yeah, prestidigitation is not going to create the illusionary effects like that.
Are you trying to do something like this? And I use and I use minor illusion. Only I make it look like Mordecai with buck teeth.
You can create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand and that lasts
Oh,
until
cool.
the end of your next turn.
Cool. Wow. So describe it again, Dave, so I can be properly freaked out by the weird.
Well, the problem is the illusionary image that could fit in your hand would not qualify for what you're trying to do with Boggle.
No, he's just trying to show me an image of what I looked like.
Which
Small enough to fit in his hand.
So basically, he makes a Warhammer miniature of Boggle. Like
Yes.
This little tiny, tiny, tiny thing of Boggle. And you're like, I'm not that small.
No,
It's
but
racist.
he makes it look like the weirdness. So what is
Yeah.
describe it?
Kind of a white to almost light grayish skin with no
How much-
nose, no mouth.
How much Lovecraft have you read?
um,
God,
enough, but anyway.
this albino 8-man dude thing is what it looks like. Or a ghoul.
I think I know what he is actually. What would I roll to know?
I'm a fucking doppelganger, Dave. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
But you've never looked like that at any point in your life, Boggle.
You've killed the real me, Dave. I'm playing an imposter. I'm upset.
No, the real you's out there extorting people. Remember?
Room is out there. What?
Remember?
Oh my god.
He was cutting
Oh.
my standing finger.
This is a big twist. This is a hard left turn.
Okay, so what happened? The real me was doing what?
Remember, because when we first got to that town after the demon train, everyone was terrified of you because you look like a mob boss or something, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because that's the quote unquote real you. I think that's what we're going with. Maybe
The-
I don't
And,
fucking
the
and
know.
re-
you and you are a doppelganger that just took on his form at some point and forgot.
I'm out. Peace.
Or you are true polymorphed, and
Ah,
he's the doppelganger.
But who doppelgangs a doppelganger?
doppelganger.
So
It's
basically,
okay.
Dave, you described a doppelganger is what it.
I described what I described. I'm not quantifying it.
I don't think.
Out of character, I am saying that it sounds like a doppelganger or changeling of some sort.
Fuck you, Dave.
Unfortunately, I don't think any of us can confirm.
Oh
It's
well,
okay,
Tree.
though. We'll
Weird
get you
stuff.
on. We'll get you on a nice, healthy diet. Get you some sun. You'll be all better.
Wait, was I larger in the other form?
No. You're still small.
Well, then I'm a
A
fucking.
midget doppelganger.
Yeah, I'm a fucking baby. I'm a baby doppelganger. What?
I mean, you did
This is
say
great.
that Boggle was young.
Oh, he's extremely young for a gnome. He's only 19. That's like stupid young for a gnome.
I'm really happy right now.
Yeah, I know. Anytime I'm miserable, you are not, and that is cool. I'm glad I can bring you such joy.
Oh, you shouldn't be miserable. This is really interesting and cool.
Well, at least it's this tune and not a character I actually like that's getting F.
Hey, at least
Alright,
you weren't
well.
turned to a green midget.
Or a green giant.
I mean that's your fault.
Secretly, your Minhir sung, and Minhir was a big old gobbledanger.
Don't take it too far now, bro. You're gonna upset.
I have a big reach. I have very long arms.
There ain't no
I'm-
fucking doppelganger.
I'm sure I can grab onto something on Minhir's.
Right. So
Right.
let's head on.
Back on track.
All right. So, back on track.
I just came back after being gone for almost 2 months, and you're really gonna make me not want to be here. Thanks a lot, bro.
Come on, dude. You know we love you.
So what does the tree say?
Well, the tree has not spoken to you directly yet. Either any of you.
Okay, well I try to talk to the tree because that's what the water was for.
What do you say to the tree?
Greetings, ancient one. I am Boggle Glimmertrick, druid of the wilds. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Greetings. I do hope that you have learned better manners over time. Last we spoke, you said some very profane things about me.
Yeah, well, sorry about that, but you weren't responding, and I was frustrated, and a lot of crazy stuff had already happened, so I was not in the best frame of mind, if you know what
Apology accepted.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to, I didn't mean it when I called you an asshole too. So,
Thank you.
but how do you live like this? Your inside is mostly hollowed out, and you got all these creatures running around and stuff. Did you mind about the burrow I made underneath the the limbs down there, or was that?
No, I did not mind, as these other life forms call me home, from the tallest human to the smallest animal. All are welcome to live within my walls or underneath them for safety or sustenance.
So, what's your name anyway?
I don't need a name. I am not important enough in that endeavor for a name. But many call me many different things, as your past self has demonstrated. But I forgive.
This tree has a good sense of humor, guys.
You should call it Steve.
No.
Oh,
The only part of what you just said that's wrong, Tree, is the fact that you said you're not important enough. You're probably the oldest living thing within hundreds of miles of here, and you're not important. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you on that statement.
I am not that old, believe it or not. I am rather young compared to other trees even half my size, and even those smaller than that.
I was about to say, I thought he was going to get really philosophical and say, I'm young compared to the mountains. Like, oh, no shit, dude. I mean, come on.
Well, no,
Good Lord.
the tree has only been there for a couple decades. It just
Oh,
appeared one
okay.
night. It was just boom.
Spontaneously humongous.
Yes,
Okay, that's
with
weird as shit.
nourishing, life-giving fruit.
So you were artificially created, is what you're saying.
Aren't we all created by other beings? Some call
Yeah,
them
yeah.
parents. I do not know who my parents are, but I know what my purpose is, which is to protect and to give many things to those around me, to give shelter, to give safety, to give food, nourishment, to give
Well,
life.
you do a really good job of that.
I would hope so. That is what I suspect is my purpose in this world, to give.
Can you give us any insight? First of all, I guess I should just ask your permission. Is it okay if I keep that burrow there underneath the roots and then, like, maybe at a future time, use you for transport and things like that if it becomes necessary? Would that be all right?
I was going to make some jokes on that, but I'm not. If the if your burrow gives you shelter and sanctuary, of course, you can keep it. If you need transport, safe transport to me, you may utilize my presence to do so. After all, I would not be a good protector if I could not offer safety in all of my inhabitants in their endeavors.
Okay, I don't like this. Do you discriminate on the inhabitants that are allowed to utilize your service?
I do not tolerate evil and evil acts within these hallowed walls. I must protect those that are inside and those with malice in their hearts, ill intent, and ill will to those within will not be allowed in the gardens nor in the safety and sanctity of these walls.
Okay, that brings another point too. You know how your roots stretch all over the place and they're really big, and some of them even go down into the sewers. Can you like detect when that nasty stuff is in there, like the undead creatures and things like that? And does that
It
I
bothered me.
My roots do hurt. I do not know why. The pain has been growing steadily of late. But I bear it as I must protect those within from the harmfulness of the outside world, a world that they need sanctuary from.
is there anything y'all want to ask the tree?
I've never talked. I've never thought to talk to a tree.
Honestly, wouldn't know where to start.
He's pretty friendly.
Yep, it's a good tree.
Oh yeah, do you control your the Golemic antibodies, or are they their own masters? They just do whatever they instinctually feel like doing.
I can ask things of them. They also are here to protect those within these walls. They help prevent evils from harming myself and those who call these walls home.
All right. Well, if my companions can't think of anything, I appreciate your time, Tree, and hope that you do well.
Oh, one last thing. Make sure you tell the Dryad here thank you, and I look forward to talking with her.
My friend says, could you make sure to tell the Dryad here thank you, and she looks forward to talking.
I can talk to the tree too.
Oh, well, never mind then. show off. And I.
Oh,
I just picture Boggle just kind of like kicking the dirt and just stompily walk off, just mad. You are the only Dryad here.
but I remember last time I was here, there was rumors. Are they all lies? Oh,
That's all the tree says, is that there's no dryads here.
Is there someone else here?
There are many here, as many call me home.
Boggle, I need help. The tree's dodging the question.
This Poggle still walked off.
Yeah, actually, I need to go find out what's wrong. So who could help with that? I guess I'll go to the Fearless Lander.
All right, yeah, Boggle walks back down the path to where y'all entered in through the core.
Poor Willow looks crushed. All right. Well, never mind then. Nice tree. We'll be going.
Okay, does anybody else talk to the tree?
Thank you for being here for the people. And we share a purpose, I suppose, in that way. Give a short bow and then start walking off.
I'm Real Wave. Have a good day, everything.
Nobody
I
can
need
see
to
the
go find
wave
new
because
clothes.
she's invisible. So Irene walks off. Does she frolic naked, invisible?
Well, after the whisper, yes. She's going to give a show.
An invisible show. Okay.
Well, it's obvious something can see her as she's leaving. At least to her, so
All right.
she's a very habitual person, if anything.
How about you, Barth?
Berth's gonna. He's probably just gonna head out. Doesn't really have anything he needs to ask of the tree.
Okay. And as you all head back, Boggle, the first one to discover this, as you get to the wall, when you approach it with intent of going through, it does turn transparent. And as you step through, you hear the voice in kind of the back of your mind, welcome. Just real calm, soothing, and it asks where you want to go. And right now you only know a few places that you can actually go to here, mainly being the bottom floor, the Nymph's Rest, and the Sparrow network.
Well, I need to go to the Fearless Lander post, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, Imra needs clothes.
I imagine
Yeah.
you didn't own just one set of clothing, right?
I think she has disguise. I think she has a disguise. Let me check my.
It's going to be very awkward.
I have a disguise kit.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess if
Hey,
she
great.
has enough cloth,
You can disguise
she's
yourself as a different naked lady.
Exactly.
yeah. If it has cloth in it, she is going to make a makeshift pair of panties at the very least. And everyone can hear an audible sigh as they hear something that sounds like a sewing kit open.
All right then.
Interesting how she's trying to sew that together invisible.
Yeah.
Since
Hey,
everything
at
is
least.
invisible.
I mean, at
Yeah.
least she can, or I think she can see what she's messing with.
No, it's
No,
invisible.
It's all everything is
It's
invisible.
invisible.
What would you like me to
all invisible.
roll?
You might just want to go
Who's-
steal some clothing.
Yeah. I mean, you are invisible, so it shouldn't be too hard.
Oh, that's true. I'm stealing some of Barth's clothes off of him.
I don't think that's what they meant, but you know,
I don't know
Let
if
me
that's gonna be that. I
yeah.
don't know if that's gonna be all.
let
that
me
effective
steal
for
some
you.
clothes off a person that's trying as
No,
they're
he
wearing
has his
them. That's
bag on him.
I mean,
Are you
No,
gonna tell
I
me
know.
that Barth doesn't have clothes?
I doubt they'll fit you.
Her shit not robbing or Aerie, she's gonna turn me to glass.
No, she
Uh,
won't.
And your
no, she
shirts
won't.
will fit me. They'll just be too big for me, so I don't have to find other articles of clothing. See, this is the big brain play.
Uh, fair enough, I guess.
So, I don't think he's expecting it, so I'm gonna be rolling with advantage.
I mean, you are invisible.
Yeah.
All right.
how the hell are you gonna get a 16 on a 1? Good lord, you got some.
Yeah, she has a plus 15.
he doesn't
He's
even
too,
notice.
he's too busy looking for the Fae that haven't appeared yet that he's waiting like.
Yeah.
And in fact, this could be, after the fact, the Fae appearing to take whatever from him.
This is not the first time she's now robbed him for something.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, you have access, and he does not notice.
She now has a new shirt. This is the dumbest shit ever.
uh.
Barth
So what
Savings
is
and
it-
Loan Company.
What is this gonna look like? The Invisible Man, the old one, where she's basically totally invisible and there's a floating shirt.
Essentially.
Barth is just gonna look to his side at some point, just be like, "What the fuck? My shirt's floating."
Mordecai will go and pay tithes,
Okay.
and he'll return and get a room and change out of his military uniform and put on the celestial robes, and hopefully join everyone in the bar.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So when everybody's leaving, where else does everybody go? So Mordecai's paying his tithes and changing his clothes, and then gonna meet up.
I'm gonna go ask about the. I'm gonna go ask the Fearless Lander people about some magic or something, or someone who could tell me what the F's going on if I look all weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna get to the bottom of that. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get to the bottom.
I have a request of Mordecai with my new ring of spell storage.
Mordecai is taking a ring of spell storage as well.
Would you mind putting Fireball onto mine?
Don't have fireball anymore. Have
I can give you shatter.
lightning bolt.
Works for me.
It would need to be tomorrow, so I have very little spells left.
Catch, and she tosses him the ring.
I And he fumbles for the ring. Okay. What else would you like?
Anything that you
These
think
things
will
can.
help. I do not know about magic.
Okay. I can do that. I will put. Mordecai will end up putting lightning bolt and invisibility on the ring.
All right.
Can't the Ring of
So-
Spellsword only have like 5 spell slots?
Yep.
Lightning bolt is a level 3
5
spell,
levels.
and invisibility is a level 2 spell.
So I
Yeah,
want
but
you all to know,
Fireball is a level 3, so that's.
I didn't get Fireball. He doesn't have it.
Oh right, you didn't get Fireball. I'm dumb.
So, as a quick TLDR, I will be stealing your unused spell slots from now on, everyone. I
I'm
too
okay
am
with
a
that.
magic caster kid. Or sorry, I too am a magic caster.
Wow. Okay.
So is this what happened? Did Bree backslide into complete silence as I've been gone for 2 months?
She hasn't been the same since you
Speak, woman. Yeah, damn. What? What did you say?
I was talking earlier.
Okay, like 4 words, lady. Doesn't count as. I'm just messing with you. That was funny though. Well done. Well done. You made me laugh. I'm like, speak, woman, and you're like, no, you're like not even answering.
Denied. Okay, we'll get to Boggles in a moment here.
Oh yeah. This big reveal, he probably just threw it in as after the fact, because it was supposed to happen like last.
Aries known for a while.
Side note, well, good for you. Why didn't you tell me when you fucking knew first of all? Okay, traitorous,
Because she was
Traitorous
evil at
whore?
that point.
traitorous whore. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, if you recall,
I mean,
was-
at that point, that's actually true.
I
What,
was
traitorous
indirectly trying to suggest it multiple times, like, yeah, you're looking kind of paler. But that's
Yeah,
back.
but dude, like that's gonna say any damn thing. He about look at himself and no, I'm not. I got dirt on me. What's wrong? That wouldn't. Anyway,
I couldn't exactly go, oh yeah, my evil eye lets me see it.
yeah.
I mean, you could, but then there might be other ramifications from that. Just saying.
Yeah.
I just want to know when the switch happened. What the hell is happening?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go down to the tavern, try to drink away my troubles, and then go perform on stage for a while with the singing and the dancing.
Okay. And come on. Expand.
Just watch out for Duke Nukem. That's all I got.
What the hell's Duke Nukem got to do with anything? Come on, now World Anvil. Or my web browser's being really, really, really laggy. Or I could just
What's World Anvil anyway?
It's like a living wiki almost. It's not really giving it justice. That has access. That I'm basically importing campaign info, maps, data into where players can kind of access it. It's supposed to help alleviate
cool.
some of the note taking, and you can kind of look back at things that you've already uncovered or things that are already there, and just kind of get more of a snapshot of the world, but also kind of it helps with immersion with the world, but also
Yeah,
gives you direction with it. So
that's cool.
for everybody else, it's free. For me, it's not because that's how I have to host my content. Right now, Comey's the only one that's kind of accessed it, so he's the only one I got his information for. So, but he actually can see the map of Aurora. So, and
Yep.
there's like what 22 districts.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey, on a side note, totally unrelated.
and he can see
because
some businesses and stuff with those too.
if y'all ever get the chance to try a Williams and Connor brand beef jerky, I highly
No,
suggest you do so.
I've not tried it.
That is extremely. No, I'm saying I highly recommend it. So if you ever get the chance, you should try it. It's super.
Damn it! Every other time it does it the other way. It is being so laggy right now. I cannot expand any of my categories. Problem is, I have categories that aren't revealed yet to everything because your characters have zero knowledge of them. And I'm trying to look at ones that have stuff that I'm trying to introduce, and it's not letting me do that. And on top of that, let's see if this works. Normally, when I hit the view article, it opens up in a new tab. Now it's opening up in the same tab, which wipes out where I was at after getting the categories to expand. So I have to redo everything to go back to where I was to actually see like NPCs and stuff like that you haven't met yet. So that's really annoying. Because it makes
It's probably your web browser because my web browser does the same thing.
Yeah, it's being really. Part of the problem is it opens up with every category expanded, which is fucking dumb. It should open up collapse, the collapse so that it quickly loads and then you can just expand to what you need, not have everything under the sun expanded and taking forever to load.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was talking with my mom. I
not
missed some stuff.
No, you missed me fighting with World Anvil and complaining how it's fighting with me to try to look up a POI and NPCs so I can handle bot.
Oh.
So I need to see this one here that it is trying. Yes, that's the one I was looking for. Thank you. All right, I think I got a somewhat workaround. So you go to the Landers Boggle. You see Ziri, the petite halfling with the giant maul, who you've met, a few times before. Sees you walk into the offices, just kind of. What kind of look do you have on your face?
A look of determination.
Boggle, how can I help you? I figure you'd be doing stuff with the Sparrows. Are you looking for work?
No. Apparently, I look like this, and I'm minor illusion an image of what he showed me in my hand. Apparently, I look like this when I drank some water from the tree. What the hell's going on?
Roll initiative, monster!
Awesome, I'll do so. Let's do it.
No, she just kind of like,
dude. Why are you stealing my shit, Dave?
Roll initiative is used by every DM on the
planet.
No, I know, sir.
No, but the tone you did it in was patently me, sir. You just inserted monster instead of motherfucker. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, she is kind of taken aback by your transformation. She's like, I don't know. I don't know what that. You should probably go speak to Mary at the Ivory Lyceum. maybe able to help you find answers. You're not contagious, are you?
I don't even know what it is. I have no idea. Maddie at the Ivory Lyceum. Got it. Later. All right, go find the Ivory Lyceum.
Do you like ask her where that's at, or you just go around town like, "Hey, where's Ivory Lyceum?"
Where's that at?
It's in the Scholars Ward. It's the Tower of Ivory that you see up on the ridge. You can't miss it.
Okay, thanks.
And she just kind of like just watches you leave, just kind of like, did he? What is he touching? I don't want to touch what he's touching. I don't want whatever that is. That's creepy.
Yep. Poor lady. No sympathy here, bitch. I'm the one with the.
Okay, let's see. All right, and what about Barth? What is Barth doing?
I have no idea.
That's okay. I mean, we're gonna cover more in detail. You know, like everything that your characters are doing, because it's all like during the downtime too. So, this is all going on during that period, that week. So we can go into more detail later if you want to think about some things with that. In fact, I can go into something else here. Let's see. So, Willow. After the Landers, after the meeting with the Sparrow Network, and during the week of downtime here, some interesting things come about.
Yeah, I got a funeral to go to.
There's a funeral and then some. Apparently, well, it's not really just the funeral, but apparently there's been not only death threats against Aries' sister that is being made public, that there's been threats against her life, but there was also a failed assassination attempt on her life. And there's a little speech given about this, kind of like a little mini town hall, as it were, where she stands, and then there's like crowds of people and all that, and she goes about how her family has been taken from her, and it seems that her own life has been recently at threat. The assassin has failed to take her life as they have taken the lives of her other family members. And she goes on to say how they have a name for the would-be director of these assassins, the person's targeting her family, her, threatening the well-being of the citizens of Aurora, and their plans to not only take out her family, but also to target some of the prominent members of the other houses of the Concordant. And it is with great pain and shame that she says that it is her once beloved sister, Ari, who has hired an assassin to kill her. A sister that has taken great joy into trying to get her married against her will, trying to take her heritage away, because her sister seemed the only one worthy in her family to hold the mantle of the company from their parents, who are now dead by Ares' hands. At least the claims that she's
Wow.
making.
Well, first of all, we went from accidents to murder.
Nope, I believe it. Sounds just like Ari.
He does have a point.
Second of all, I haven't been in town. How could I be orchestrating this from halfway across the world?
I mean, assassins can get orders. I mean, there's many ways to communicate. But again, apparently the assassin confessed that they were getting their orders from her sister Ari.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
So, with that, they are saying that Ari is a criminal, almost a terrorist to the citizens of Aurora, and they warn everybody that if Ari is seen, to keep their distance and to report her to the nearest Chimera citizen to better protect the populace from further terrorist and criminal acts. So,
are they giving images out of her, or
there's wanted posters? There's one that she's holding up a flyer that that you can see people like the mercs are starting to put up around the area where the speech was given, which depicts Ari with the tattoos, pretty much like the day that you were at going on the train. It's, how you look then.
so? Need to talk with the Landers real quick. State my innocence, and let's keep this on the down low while internal family squabbles are going.
And it further pains us that we have reason to believe that this criminal is hiding out or has taken refuge in the Nymph's Rest. And the Nymph's Rest are not allowing justice to be served to this murderer of my family, who brings terror to the other houses of the Concordant and to you, your very own families. She risks to topple the safety and sanctity of Aurora with her actions. The Nymph's Rest will not allow our fearless deliverers of justice, the Chimera mercenaries, to go in and arrest this woman, my once beloved sister. I would recommend you keep your distance from that place, as we do not know how much influence she may have over there and may be corrupting others who go in. She cannot hide out there forever. We will have justice. And the people are really getting into it because she hasn't done anything detrimental to the citizens. She has been making life better, at least for the lower class.
Right, we're gonna have to start launching our own counter PR campaign.
Now, something of note, when, after, her speech and the time passed, then there has been more military, more mercenaries outside of the Nymph's Rest. And when they try to enter just the outer gates to the gardens, these thorn vines just start kind of quickly creep in and just kind of block the entrance, preventing them from getting further. The whole guard almost seems like it becomes more hostile just by them coming close to the wall. And some of the one of the mercs just kind of looks through the wall and just kind of shouts toward the tree in the back. You ain't gonna be able to keep us out forever. And just kind of walks back off to the various camps, like little posts of mercenaries that just wait by the streets outside the Nymph's Rest.
Well, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with that soon.
They're poisoning the tree, by the way. They're trying to kill it. But I'm not there, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the tree lets many other people go in and out, but as soon as
That's why its roots hurt. It doesn't know why, but for some time they have. I bet you these Chimera dudes are trying to poison.
It was hurting before notification of Aerie got here.
Well, either that or the blood stuff is trying to poison the tree. Something like that.
But something else here. Let's see. Where is.
Right. So, does anybody have any friends or anything they can contact that might have a way for casting a divination spell?
I have more favors with the Temple of the Platinum Sun.
I don't know anyone here in Aurora.
Well, on that note, Barth.
Oh.
So, after the Sparrow Network little welcome committee, and you're out and about, just kind of relaxing, enjoying hearing some of the songs about you, though they vary in different embellishments. It's still it's almost flattering just to kind of hear it, and a lot of the people here don't recognize you, like they don't know you're the one that's being sang about, but the bards are still kind of singing about the various accounts that happened in Relden. One such thing that happens to you, Barth, is one day, as you are just kind of walking in the streets of Aurora, a little elf boy comes up to you, smiling, dressed in a little gray and white button-up vest with a little matching jacket, very upper class looking. It's perfectly polished shoes. Then the whole boy's attire is just not only spotless but like perfect to the last detail. It's this like the spinning image of something that you'd see from a lord or other nobility. And with his trimmed black hair that's kind of slicked back, wide brown eyes, he just sees you and bows gracefully and introduces himself to you, Barth. Hello, I am Puck, servant to the royal family of Relden. His Grace the King formally invites you and requests your presence to a royal banquet that he would like to throw in your honor. And he hands you a little sealed envelope with a wax seal.
Barth takes the envelope. He says, well, you can tell the king that I would be happy to attend this banquet.
Ah, very good. I will let the royal family know that you have accepted the invitation. And he just bows gracefully, smiling, and turns around and just kind of skips down the street. What's really interesting is most people here, like, they're not staring at the boy. It's almost they won't even notice him.
I'm gonna activate detect magic. Does he or the letter look magical?
The letter does. And that seems to have divination magic on it. The boy, not so much. Let's see. In fact, make a perception check for me, since you're trying to observe your surroundings and perceive things using your detect magic. We'll see if you other senses pick something up.
23. Finally, I get a good roll on perception.
You notice, almost following the boy from nearby alleys, the presence of extremely large dogs or wolves.
Okay then. So probably like dire wolves. Okay, and they're all right. It's also kind of weird that they sent a small child, presumably all by himself, across country, all the way here just to deliver this message. So, okay, yep, that's suspicious. Well, I guess Barth's gonna go back to the inn, and he's going to open up the letter and read it.
Okay. So, let's see here. Come on. This one right here. All right. So the letter is you break the seal, you open up, and there's a piece of parchment in there. It's very expensive stock from it. It's something that you would expect somebody with money to have. It's not the cheap paper, not the cheap ink on it. And written on it says your name, has your name on it, so that you're cordially invited to meet with King Fulmar in a banquet of your honor for your deeds and bravery in the service of protecting the city of Reldon.
Is it still magical?
Yes.
All right.
You should have asked him a question. You should have said, "Are you the Puck named after Puck?" And then if he would have said, "I'm the Puck named after no one, no siree. I am the first one, me, me, me." And then you'd have been like, "Oh shit,
Roll
that's like
initiative,
the actual
motherfucker.
Puck." Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean that's
Because the Puck is like some serious fucking business if that's the actual Puck, sir.
yeah.
Well,
And considering it's Barth we're talking about, probably yeah.
So, one thing that you do know from being in Reldon and the time that you were there, that the castle itself is not exactly open to everybody, not even to all other lords. The common folk, like if they need to have issues addressed, they have smaller government buildings outside of the castle where they can be heard by government representatives and have their issues and concerns addressed, but they don't do so directly to the royal family. Great care is taken to restrict access to the castle. And here you are being cordially invited to the castle.
Yeah, this is pretty uh what's the word? Significant? Yeah. Probably don't want to turn them down. Does it say anything about like when and like do I get any plus ones or anything?
Does not mention anything about a +1. It mentions you specifically. In terms of when, it just says for you to come to Reldon.
All right. Yeah, okay. So this is gonna
Some things to think about.
yeah.
Okay.
When did Barth become this hero dude while I was gone?
You missed a lot.
Yeah, I'm surprised inept old fumbling Barth is a hero now. What?
I mean he killed the Colossus that was attacking Reldon.
Apparently, to
Oh.
many, in 5
Yeah.
seconds flat.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
It's okay. Willow's not judging.
I mean, Barth hasn't told anybody about the invite yet, so. But speaking of judging and invitations and Emery.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, you've got your body back and you've, borrowed some clothing until you could get back and make some adjustments to your current wardrobe so that you can get proper wardrobe in your normal size. So you look, well, I don't want to say less slutty, but you look at least appropriate levels for your body shape. Anyway, after you do that, what is Emery doing?
Well, seeing as there's a blood hunt on her head currently, she's probably going to be staying in the Nymph's Rest. We're doing downtime at the moment, right?
Kinda, not the Xanathar's level yet with that. So
Somehow
Alright.
I sense my downtime's going to be making a new character because this guy's I wonder what the real Boggle does. Is he also a druid, but only an even more wild and crazier kind? Like he really was raised by badgers, and I just think I was.
It boggles the mind, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, actually, there's one thing that Imri would like to do.
Mhm.
Well, she's more or less. Or hold up here. She's gonna see if she can find out how easy it would be to enchant her crossbow with an element.
Okay. Um, so, on the first couple floors, there is a shop on the first floor that's more of a trade-in shop. The second floor has a smithy that can make some weapons. They don't really do enchantments per se, but the two dwarven brothers that run a forge on the second floor. Um, and they seem nice. They seem like they know what they're doing, but they don't seem like they do magical enchantments. It just seems like they can make some fairly base, good quality, wares. So as you approach, you wait in line. Some people are trying to put in orders. Some younger adventurer folk, people are just getting started. Like, yeah, I got some, money, and I want to, get the dings out of this, breastplate, and I want to, get this more tailored to me, since we've kind of found it on a guy, or found it somewhere, and we want to kind of use it. You know, I'm not saying murder hobo, but it sounds like murder hobo kind of tendencies there. And once they, deal with the other customers and their orders, um, one of the Dwarven brothers,
I was like, yeah, I stabbed this drunk adventurer in the eye and took his breastplate. I mean, no.
I found
That
it in a ditch. Yeah, totally not used. Yeah, but no, bright red, bushy beard, covered in soot, has an apron that was probably white at some point, is now a dark brown just from sweat and the various soot from the furnaces and the smithing that's done here. Pulls off his thick gloves and, oh, what can I help you with today?
So, I'm not really proficient in what I'm wanting, but do you know where I might be able to find someone to help me enchant a crossbow and make it stronger with maybe some sort of elemental damage?
Oh, that's a mouthful. I mean, yeah, there's probably some places you can ask about that sort of thing. We don't do the enchantment stuff here. We leave that to those college boys and the like. But if you're really looking for information on that, I don't know if they do enchantments. You can check the Ivory Lyceum. Um, there's a few other spots there. Let's see. The Ellet's Anvil, you might want to check there. I know a lot of their fighters by that arena in the Queen's Arch. They're pretty fond of those magical weapons, but if you ask me, some of the dirtier players in that game hang out more by the proving grounds. You might want to check out Gary's Arsenal there. Might be able to help you with some enchanting there. And as he's doing that, I want you to make a perception check. And this is going to be based off of hearing. All right, so as he's talking and his dwarven voice, telling you, answering your question, trying to be helpful, you hear the very faintest sound behind you. One of it the sound is not from one particular source with your natural 20. It's actually from three separate sources. One, it sounds like metal being unsheathed. The other sounds like
Yep.
the notching of a crossbow. The third sounds like the sound of a garrote being taught.
Oh, I'm
You're
just
being
gonna have
ambushed, dude.
fun. Can you pardon me for a moment? We're about to be attacked. Go inside, and then she casts invisibility.
Well, okay. Well, first, I want you to roll initiative.
Imri, this is gonna be fun. Why, Imri?
For your enemy. Fun for
Well-
your enemies.
Well, on the plus side, because of your nat 20 with the perception, I am going to allow you to have. Basically, they're going to have the surprise condition because you were aware of their presence. So you will have that going for you, where you could cast your invisibility. But after that, then you would be able to, move, take your full allotment of actions. So. Now, do you turn around when you cast invisibility, or do you just cast it while with your back still turned?
She turns around as she's casting it. She is getting completely
Okay.
prepared for this.
Then she just lost cool points because Yeah, but oh well, that's fine. It's all good though.
So she
They go for the dramatic all the time. Like her head just cocks to the side, and then she disappears right in front of their face, and they're like, "Oh."
If you're gonna do
fuck
that, then
me.
you just cock one head over the shoulder and just give a wink as you give the last command word for the invisibility. But anyway.
Oh well.
So, yeah, you turn around as you say, you invoke the invisibility, and you see your would-be attackers, which, for the most part, are dressed in plain clothes, though. You see a woman who has the garrote. You see a looks like a halfling that's got the little dagger that is clearly coated in something, and behind them is a half elf with a loaded hand crossbow, just the arm kind of pointed out as you turn around. So, since you have a 7, you are sadly not going first in that. They are going to try to do their actions. So this is going to be weird, because now they're going to have some penalties. Let's see here. Wow. Okay, so the halfling has no chance of hitting you with disadvantage. Roll 2 8s. So that's a fun thing on him. Just kind of swings wildly at where you were at with the invisibility. The woman is going to not do so well with a natural 3, and is trying to, where she thinks your neck's at, try to grapple you and strangle you, but is failing to do so. And a hand crossbow goes off. That one was a bit better. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Well, that's going to be tragic, but that does hit me.
Okay. So.
Right in the left butt cheek.
Well, about that. Since allies are within 5 feet of you that do threaten, and they're no longer surprised because it's their full turn here, you do get hit with the bolt. It is not coated with anything, so that's the good side. Bad side, there's some extra damage dice in here. You are going to be taking 7 points of piercing damage and 14 additional sneak attack damage.
Wait a minute. The attack was made at disadvantage, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, I think the attack would be made with disadvantage against.
If you have disadvantage, you can't get sneak attack.
All right. Well, he takes 7 points of piercing damage. And it is your turn.
Oh, I feel bad for them. So, Imri is going to flip out her poison dagger and stab the lady in front of her.
All right, and this was regular invisibility.
Yup.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Does this disengage my invisibility?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Oh,
a
that's
making
not
an
fun.
attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
then I have an even
Yeah,
or meaner thing to do. Quick question: are they in a straight line, more or less?
No, the halfling's kind of more on. If you're looking at a 9 square, you're being the center. Halfling is at the bottom left, so we'll say like 7 o'clock. The girl is at 6 o'clock, and the hand crossbow shooter is a few squares beyond that, about 4 squares behind her.
One sec, someone's knocking at the door. I'll be back.
I'm gonna position myself with movement and action dash, or sorry, bonus action dash, to be, let's say, 50 feet away from the woman and the halfling, making sure that they're next or lined up enough. And I'm going to point a finger and cast lightning bolt. Thank you, Chris. By the way, this has probably saved my life.
Okay,
This
so,
is the next day, right?
yeah, this would be on a different day with that.
Okay, because I wouldn't be able to cast it the same day she asked.
Yeah,
It would
these
be
are
the
going
next
through
day.
different points during your downtime. So now,
Oh, okay.
so I know there's no map for this, but for you to get in that line to hit them with that, you wouldn't be that. So,
He couldn't be 50 feet away.
well,
Here's the deal.
yes, and no. Can be 50 feet, but wouldn't hit all of them. You'd be able to hit just the crossbow shooter because you'd be out of the shop to get the distance. To
Fuck.
Yeah, so you'd have to exit the shop, which you can do with that move. And if you want to hit all of them, you'd be aiming your lightning bolt into the shop, but you'd hit all of them. You wouldn't be too far away from the hand crossbow shooter. You'd be about 15 feet away from him. Or you can go around the catwalk to where you would be 50 feet away, but you would only be able to hit him because he'd be the only one viable with that.
Would I
because of
hit
that pillar.
Would I hit the dwarf if I went to hit all of them?
You wouldn't hit the dwarf, because they're seeing all this people brandish weapons and getting the fuck out of there, but you're still firing a lightning bolt into a shop. It's not a fireball, thankfully, because that'd be a different meme.
Yeah,
But
lightning bolt's way more controlled. I'm trying to see. My main thing is if I hit anyone that, am I gonna hit people? Is the thing.
No, you're not going to. Other than
Other than the 3 people you want to.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm shooting the 3 people I want to.
Okay, so you wouldn't be a full 50 feet away from. Like I said, you'd be about 15 feet away from the crossbow shooter, but you'd still hit all 3 of them. But the bolt would be shooting into the shop as well because it's going through them. And
That's fine. I'll pay for what I can afterwards.
okay.
Spell save DC is 16.
I was about to ask. That's a nat 20. Let's see. All right. So the crossbow one failed. The other 2 succeeded.
All right.
Roll your 8-6 damage.
And he had advantage on dodging that, and he got a 4 and a 3.
Oh, I thought if I just clicked it, it would do the roll. Rip.
No, I don't.
I think you have to set
not-
that as an option.
Yeah.
in there.
No, you have to build an attack around it if to do it automatically. Just do /R8.
Those dice hate you.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I could have one-shot one of them with my knife.
Probably. You can actually drag the lightning bolt spell into your spell list, and then
It'll
it'll
populate
auto create. It'll create an attack
Alright.
for
Yeah, they did add that feature, which was actually nice of Roll20 to do, because back in the day they didn't have that, and that was a
No,
pain.
it was a pain in the ass. Yeah, and that's where Fantasy Grounds has always had an advantage, is the whole
Drag and drop appeal. Yep. Yes, indeedy. I agree. Well, so the lightning bolt goes off. You point out your hand, and the bolt just arcs through. The poor guy with the hand crossbow gets shocked as the bolt travels like around and through him, aiming into the shop. As it does, kind of hitting the counter, blasting it, hitting metal tools on the wall behind it. You hear like them drop as the holders for it just kind of break from the force of the lightning bolt hitting it. You hear the ding, 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 and the crackling energy. The other two move out the way of it, and the halfling still has the blade. She has the grope, but she is now pulling out her other weapons. So she's like making her way to it. She can't do it yet because it's not her turn, but you can see her like she's less favoring the groat and now gonna go to something else.
The tree can hear me, right?
You assume.
Tree, could you please call for help? I need people near them so I can actually hurt them properly. I'm not good with fights 1-on-3. And then she's going to move the rest of her movement backwards.
Is she actually in the Nymph's Rest right now, or somewhere?
Yes, she's in the Nymph's Rest.
Okay, well then
Yeah,
just say,
I am
"Hey,
John
tree, they're
Wicking
trying to
this.
kill me," and then you
If-
might get some guardians to come kick their ass.
If Mordecai hears it, he's gonna rush over.
Yeah, you guys should hear a loud lightning bolt.
If they're in the Nymph's Rest at this time. Because everybody's got their own things going on right now, too.
I mean, Barth went back to the inn to read the note. So yeah,
Right, but these are not all happening at the same days and same times a day.
Yeah,
So, commotion is being...
Note to self, I need to get a personal... I was going to say bitch, but that might not
Wizard?
be the right phrase here.
Well-
I need a sneak attack buddy.
Well,
A
I mean,
bodyguard.
Willow got a personal bitch. I mean, Barth got his own Kool-Aid, so, you know, and a bird. I mean, he got a twofer with that. Don't you have snakes?
don't you have flying snakes?
I do have flying snakes,
Yeah, that's
but I
something you
don't
gotta do.
want them all to be killed at the moment. I haven't trained them yet to dodge knives.
Okay, so you have something to work on. Okay, well, so yeah, you make that request, and you're on the catwalk right now. It's a circular catwalk, so it's just like a little letter O. You know, in the center of that O is the that main interior support pillar where you guys can kind of go in and use the teleportation circles. Each floor apparently has their own little circle. You have no idea how many floors there is to this tree, but this is a huge tree. So it's, you know, there could be many floors that you are not aware of. But the ones that you do know that there's some teleport circles in. So you getting as far away, you can put like that pillar in between you and them in terms of line of sight. But you're still on that same second floor as they are. People below are kind of like, you know, what's that? You know, they hear commotion coming from above. And on initiative 20 of next round, you see the familiar carvings in the walls that look like large humanoids start to come out of the walls, and with these lumbering, hulking limbs just start to walk in the direction where the assassins are at. Now the other assassins inside.
Oh.
Let's see. She's going to do that, so you can't see them because you're breaking the line of sight. And He will. All right, there's some more commotion coming from the shop. It sounds like there's a little fight going on in there. It is your turn. What are you doing?
Do I see the man with the crossbow?
Not from your current position. You'd have to walk out from around the core of the pillar to see what happened to him and what's currently going on.
Cool. I'm flipping up my hood so I stealth.
Okay, roll your stealth. I'm not seeing a result here.
And I can use that as a bonus action because rogue. I just remembered that. Thank God. We're just fucking
Okay.
roll the 10.
It's all right. Well, I mean, that's...
And then she's going to move up to see if she can get eyesight on anyone.
Okay. So you see the man that had the hand crossbow. He is still laying with blackened skin from electrical burns from a lightning bolt that hit him in the back at almost point blank range. He does not appear to be breathing.
Sweet. So he's not doing the screeching dolphin move.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
If
you should
he's-
custom make a lightning bolt spell that audibly says taser, taser, taser before it.
Oh my
No.
God.
Are you supposed to say that?
Supposed to, yes.
Yeah, you are. But I don't know if any
You're also
Kapu
supposed-
actually.
Well, yeah. You know why? Because that's just like the stop resisting thing. There's two parts to that. One of it being you're trying to tell the person commands because of the adrenaline, the tunnel vision. If somebody
Oh,
doesn't have
yeah.
direction, that you're trying to tell them, hey, I need you to do this. To comply, to don't fight. But it also is a secondary thing, which is legality in case things come back
Yeah.
to the department. So
What usually ends up happening is this: you end up saying it like maybe once, not 3 times, and then usually it's as you're squeezing the fucking trigger. I'm just saying that's just reality, because just like if you say drop the weapon, ideally you should say drop the weapon every time someone has a weapon.
yeah.
But if the first syllable is drop and then they raise a knife, I'm gonna shoot their ass without finishing my sentence. So theoretically and ideally, yeah, you should always verbalize, but in practice, it rarely goes down like that. That's what that really is.
Yeah, that is true.
So I kind of want to know what it feels like to be tasered, but there are hooks
you
on
don't.
that, right?
I've been tased.
That-
I've been
Yeah.
tased twice. And,
Only twice?
Only
You
Yeah.
lucky son of a bitch.
I
Yeah,
have
man.
been tased a lot myself. It's
Only
not
twice.
fun.
Well, I don't expect it to be fun, but I am curious.
Okay, dude.
But
don't wanna be pepper
the
sprayed.
question,
I'd rather be
the-
tased
yeah,
than
no,
pepper
I
sprayed.
didn't-
me
I
too.
didn't say pepper sprayed. I don't want to be pepper sprayed.
No, you don't. That's
Yeah,
just-
Now,
no,
the
you really-
question I have is as to how the tasers work. Are there hooks that go
Yes,
into
it's
you?
2 miniature harpoons. Basically, how it is this: it's 2 miniature harpoons with wires attached to them that go back to the device on the cartridge on the end. Then they stick in the person's body, ideally at least 12 inches apart on a large muscle surface like your back,
That's where you're
and then
supposed
they
to
cause. Yeah, they cause neuromuscular incapacitation if you have good enough spread. Basically, it makes the large muscle groups in your body tense up where you can't move them efficiently. That's the theoretical use of it.
And you got to have both
Um,
prongs in from the work. One does not quite work. So, you got to have good
I will.
hit with that.
I
and
will say
penetration.
this. I will say this. The fact that it's 2 harpoons makes me not want to get tased more than the electricity part.
Oh, no. What's fun? I don't know if Rick's seen this, but I did when I was law enforcement. There's a training knife that uses the taser technology. It does it around the edge of the blade, so it's like from the handle all the way on both sides of the blade. It looks like a little combat knife.
No, yeah, I've seen it, and it gives you drive stuns as you're,
Have you put
quote
that?
unquote.
Okay, so we did this just to test how accurate it was, how painful it was. You remember Predator, Billy from Predator?
Yeah, I
The
remember.
Indian? Do you remember the ending scene where what he did with his knife, with his machete?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we turned that thing on full blast and try to enact that just to see how painful it really was, because it's different from a regular drive stun in terms of feeling. Drive stun's when you just take a taser, you don't shoot the prongs, you just jam it right into somebody.
That is correct. Or it can do it with only one prong hits. You can follow with a drive
That is
stun
true,
to get
yes.
the kill.
And if you fire those prongs too close to a body, they can penetrate
Exact-
bone.
Exactly. Yes, they can.
So, and they're meant to do that much penetration because you don't know how many layers of clothing or what type of clothing a target has, and it needs to penetrate that to actually give the stimulation. Anyway, we tested that, and that thing really fucking hurts. It doesn't quite feel like you're getting cut,
really fucking
but
hurts, dude. What the fuck, bro?
We
Of
wanted to
course it
see.
fucking hurt.
We all wanted to
What
see.
the hell's wrong with you? Man? Hold on. Give me.
Wait.
I'll be
You're
right back.
asking. You're asking somebody who is former law enforcement, who willingly joined law enforcement, what the fuck is wrong with them? You should know. Everybody in law enforcement's a little bit thrown off. Come on, man. You've been doing this long enough. You know.
I have to go.
All right.
It's 5, so
Okay.
so I have somewhere to be. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. All right. Not a problem.
This is the usual stop time, right? Did we
Well-
change it?
Well, we try to aim for 5. Sometimes if we bleed over, we try not to go beyond 5:30. But yeah, that's fine. We're still doing Imri's little shit
Yeah.
here.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Hey, check it, guys. Listen, right? You ready?
I recognize that sound.
He just got one of
Yeah.
those party clackers. He's just whipping in his hand really, really fast. Don't worry about it, guys.
Definitely. That's definitely what that is.
Yeah, that's nothing else.
Nothing else at all.
No. Those things. Some of the tools they give you can use in other ways, which are amazing. Like pepper spray. If you're ever sick and you want to get rid of your sinus, take a little plastic bag, like a trash bag, spray a little bit, like a half-second burst in it. Close the top, shake it up a lot to get that the components in it, like just like a cloud, and just take a little half inhale of it. All your snot will just come right out your sinus, and you can breathe again.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think that would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a fun little tip. So anyway, Imri, you
So back to Imri being murdered.
yes, and not in a toilet, thankfully. Though it still could happen. You saw the crossbow wielder, the half elf, burnt to a crisp, just electrical burns everywhere. You see the halfling trying to avoid one of the golems, but you also see him trying to avoid axes being thrown at him by dwarven weaponsmiths.
Bless their souls. Well, since I
You
have
don't
my action,
see the woman though.
that's fine for now. She's going to pull out her crossbow and she's going to shoot the escapee.
Okay. Well, he's still in the shop. He's not outside. He's there's a golem kind of stopping him from leaving right now.
That's
it's a lot
good.
of threatened area.
But I doubt he notices me while I'm stealth, which means I get my sneak attack again.
All right. Well, I mean, as far as you can tell, he's not showing any signs of it. So, I mean, if you want to make an attack, go ahead.
Well, I need to know for the case of since I'm stealth and he doesn't see me, I believe I get advantage.
You do.
Mm.
That's a hit. All right. So there is a crossbow bolt that has just pierced one side of this halfling's head and is sticking out the other side as he is kind of mid-swing, blocking, trying to guard from one of the golem's attacks. He just falls limp.
All right. And that'll be her turn.
I just thought if the enemies are truly devious, though, this could be like a probe where They're testing the defenses or how the tree reacts to actual breaking of its rules. That is part.
So what does Amory do?
That's her turn. She's going to stay where she is, looking at the doorway of the shop.
Okay. All right. So the golems just kind of stay kind of active in the area here. The woman does not do anything or make an appearance here, as far as you can tell. You haven't been attacked, and the golems don't seem to notice her, nor the dwarves. You're not quite sure where exactly she went or what she's doing right now. What you do see here, you see the dwarves kind of like going over, like, who the hell is this shrimp? And they're kind of going through his stuff. Make a perception check.
Thanks, perception.
Well, I
Feels
mean,
bad, man.
you don't notice anything else, in your immediate surroundings, going on. There's a lot going on here. Part of probably the reason why you don't notice as much, because your attention's being pulled onto something else. As the dwarf's kind of going through his little pocket, you see him pull out what looks to be a coin that's a little larger than a normal gold piece. Think of it like the size of a $50, and it's not like a gold coin. It's a type of gold mix, but it's red gold, and you immediately recognize the significance of that. The red gold coin is given to those who are particularly taking on a blood hunt, that the callers of the hunt, the organization, are aware when somebody is slain in possession of these coins. And they usually tend to send people to investigate, because usually that means that either the target killed them or something big enough threat to kill people who have these are in the area.
Well, that's not good. She's going to tap the tree. So, don't know if you can hear me, but I heard a rumor about those coins, and we need to get rid of them and the bodies. Those aren't good. Shit, we need to find that lady.
I like how every piece of information Imri has that is of a shady nature. She says, "I heard a rumor about this." That's hilarious though, but it's in character totally. I dig it.
Hey, she is a professional assassin.
All right. So, let's see. All right. Well, I mean, you don't get into any response backs from the tree. The golems are just kind of on patrol right now, on the floor. So,
So, if that's the case, Imri's gonna run on over and go, "Are you two okay?"
you're
Uh,
still invisible? Oh, are you still hiding?
No, she would break her stealth.
Okay. What the hell was that about? Damn, they ruined my shop.
I'm sorry about that. How much would it be to or pay for the repairs?
Well, let's see. You just Bowald! See how much damage is done. Get this one lady the bill. Gotta clean this bodies up. It's bad for business. Weren't even killed with one of our weapons. Damn.
Oh, this is going to be a long, long day. And she's going to make sure to get the 2 blood coins. Because now she's going to be going to the Sparrows.
I heard from somebody that these coins. So, okay, yeah, the other elf does have a such coin. So, everything that other assassin told you was definitely true, and the weight of it is, being slowly realized. All right, so you take both of the coins here. Let me.
I'm also going to take, their money.
Well, they have a few silver pieces, each with them, but the dwarven smiths give you a bill about 10 gold for the damages.
She hands them 15 and says, please don't talk about this.
All right. Okay, so let's see. After you do that, all right. So, because I know we still got some other wrap ups here to do. With Mordecai being MIA here, we have some things with Willow, like a funeral and things to go to. So, Rick, I'm going to talk to you out of game. See if you do want to continue with Boggle or make another one, because you can, we can continue the adventure with, another character as you so wish.
Oh wow, okay. So there's some serious shit happening. All right.
So, I think this would be a good spot to stop, and we can pick up on the other little odds and ends here, because there is lots and lots and lots of things for everyone's characters. So at least the Lodi doesn't have to kill any random strangers
Or children.
Yeah, but Imri is going to be making sure that she talks to the Sparrows.
At least Willow won't accidentally turn anyone else into glass.
And thinking about it,
it's a shame that it just comes in a little bit too late.
It's fine.
God.
Yeah, it's a shame, but anyway, that's it for the sessions. Again, this is just for us, our archival purposes. So if you watched, and
Which I dig.
I know, and we do have people chat. So
I will at some point watch the ones I missed for real, and I will.
Yeah, it's all good. I like it when we talk to people. If you just watch, lurk, that's cool. If we inspire you for your own game sessions, characters, or running it, more power to you. That's the stuff that I get enjoyment from. But really, just interacting with people when I do my other streams, just chit chatting is what I like best. So. Our players will chat with you too. If you got any questions, more than happy to answer them. But anyway, we are not going to have a game session next Saturday, as I will be out of town and I will not be back in time to run said session due to my IRL work. So it happens. But after that, we'll see if the group wants to, or will be available to do a game on the weekend after Thanksgiving, or if we have enough people, we might do a one shot. But we'll discuss that later on, and let everybody know. So just join our Discord, or maybe I'll put a post on Twitter. But yeah, till next time, everybody, be safe and happy gaming.